you, Ms. Wallace. It is 9:05. We're going to call this meeting of the City of Port Orchard Lodging Tax Advisory Committee to order. Before we get started, I thought we'd do introductions real quick. So my name is John Morrissey. I until last night served as your at-large member on City Council. I now will, for the first of the year, serve on seat 2. But I am your chair, and hopefully we can get this last body of work across the finish line, and it can be voted on at our first meeting of the year. We'll see how the day goes. But why don't we start right here with him?
My name is Annette Stewart, and I own Smitty's Vacation Rental. My name is Shelley Larson, and I own two vacation Street.
Sam Vermont. I have an Airbnb, the Carriage House.
Brandy Wallace, City Clerk, staff.
John Holhall, Chair of Fathoms of Fun.
Samantha Smith, President of the Port Orchard Waterfront Alliance.
Kathy Garcia, Operations Manager for the Port of Bremerton's Marinas.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you for serving your neighbors. We have a job to do. We got to allocate some funds that we take in on our short-term rentals and hotels and lodging. And we need to put that back out in the community the best way that we can in a big year that's coming up. So I want to start off by saying we're going to listen to presentations. We've got a little bit of time at the end here. Things that can help you go through this process. We have a set dollar amount. Be thinking about what percentages and where and how best we want to allocate this money. It does help in the end because while we can talk through some of the merits of presentations and that, it does just come down to what is the budget and how are we allocating it at the end. And we're looking for some consensus. So I will help with that. Any questions you have along the way, please feel free to answer. I'm going to keep this pretty casual. Our job here is just to really dig in, ask the questions of the presenters, and go from there. We have 15 minutes for each presenter. I believe they were communicated that they were going to get 10 minutes with 5 minutes of Q&A, or 5 and 5. Okay, with a little bit of 5, with a little bit of flexibility in there. My goal is to make sure that in between one, we have at least 2 to 3 minutes. They get going real quick and rapid fire. If we don't get that, you're going to find some are going to be quicker than others. But I'm really going to try and just be the facilitator here today and let you guys run with it. What kinds of questions do you have before?
What's the total amount? 130.
130 is. Well, I had asked to have a little extra money this year due to FIFA coming to town. We're going to have a higher number of tourists than we've experienced in the recent past, and so we thought it would be behoove us to make sure that we put a few more resources towards that. Like it or not, while it's not a huge difference from the years past, that's a 30% increase. So it really, when it comes to the budget and that fund, is pretty significant difference. So we are asking that maybe you would weight some things when they talk about FIFA, maybe a little heavier, because we think there's a lot of opportunity to gain more lodging tax dollars, which only benefits this community in 27 after those tourists are gone. So we can continue bringing more people to our area.
Have you heard of anything that would be happening during that time in Port Orchard?
So really, Annette, what we're kind of looking for is how do we take our existing infrastructure? How do we take a Fathoms of Fun, a tree lighting won't happen during that, but how do we put that kind of elevated for the tourists that are coming during that time frame? City's not currently planning on doing anything in particular.
No, I was really talking to the city. I was talking about, have you heard about any organizations or anything that planning something during that time?
And that's June, correct? Like
It is June.
3 weeks in June.
You're getting closer to. It's a little longer than 3 weeks, but so it's. I believe the first one's on the 12th, and then they go to the 6th of July.
The big one's the 19th.
The 19th is the one where the US plays here in Seattle. They're also doing a huge Juneteenth celebration. There is a official fan zone, I wouldn't call it a watch zone, over in Bremerton. And they're doing their own thing, right? But that will be more a FIFA type thing, I think, more than anything else.
So June 12th through July.
6th, I think, is the last one. I should have brought those dates, but
So the things that Fathoms will do during that time will be concerts, the parade and the fireworks. So
Okay.
there'll be some important stuff.
Oh. Just wanted to know if there's something to bring them up.
nothing outside of, we're not something special. We're not doing anything in addition.
Thank you, Annette.
Thank you. That's not what I'm trying to get out, but
That's good.
we're not doing anything, we're not putting together our own fan zone or anything like that. There were talks about that at one point. It's pretty cost prohibitive. FIFA wants
A lot of money.
tens of thousands of dollars to show a match on the screen. So, yeah. We thought there will be plenty of places for you to be able to do that. We don't necessarily need to do that en masse in a parking lot. So. Any other questions?
Is there a waiting? Because you've got some organizations that advertise the events that other organizations do. So should there be waiting versus the advertising versus being able to put on the events to advertise? Or is that kind of what we discuss as a group?
We're going to discuss that as a group. So our job, right, your job is to decide how do we best leverage the dollars that we have? Where are they best spent to bring technically heads in beds that generate more tax dollars? That's what the state law asks us to do. There are certain things that the money can only be used for. So these are things to be looking for. Marketing, right? You can pay for any type of marketing or tourism operations. Outside of that, this isn't meant to supplement
Staff.
it really isn't meant to bring in the porta potties that we require you to have, that kind of thing, but you know, it can be used towards tourism operations and marketing.
And then we're just an advisory board, so the council is the one that actually makes that determination.
Correct. I will leave you with one last piece of tidbit of information. And that is, if you allocate $0 to an entity, council must push, and they want to fund that, they must push this back to this committee to be able to change that. If you allocate $1, they can just change your allocations, right? It has been my experience, and I don't know that I've seen it past my experience, even just watching outside of being the chair here. I don't believe the council has changed any recommendations out of this committee in recent past.
Recent, no,
Okay,
but
yes.
probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was routine for them to do that.
So that's the last piece I will leave with you, as I've experienced that as an entity receiving these, and not here in this city, but in another.
I mean, the first time, I did have a question about the spreadsheet. I noticed that some people didn't request any money, but they're on there. It's like zero.
So there are people who received money in the past. So this is a historical document. So she's just left them on that
Okay,
because
I tried to hide the ones that didn't apply this year, so that way you can just see apples to apples.
Okay. they must
Um,
have shown.
and then you'll also notice, I'll share it when we're ready to get to that piece, but you'll also notice that some agencies will put in 2 separate applications, and it's for one for marketing and tourism, and then the other one is for events specific that they're holding. So this year we didn't have anybody split that, they just did one application. So rather than remove it because of the historical, I just left it. So that's why it's NA or 0 on the sheet.
Oh, okay. That's all.
Yeah. And there was a typo. I grabbed the wrong number, and so I've got that fixed, and it'll be shared correctly when we get to that point on one of that.
And then is it a hard, fast rule that if applications are incomplete, they are not accepted?
That's up to the committee to decide.
And as far as other cities, where do we span, like Bremerton has how much in LTAC and Port Arthur has how much in LTAC? If the ask is, 50% of our LTAC. I'm just curious what other cities.
But
We're the
it is a direct relation to the number of units available. I will say that. But also in municipal funding, we have funds, and so we have to keep a balance in that fund. So what I'm trying to say is that's a hard question to answer because the year before last, Bremerton spent $1 million in LTAC. This past year, they had about 400,000 of it. So it
Can vary.
luckily ours stays pretty and we have a great finance director who keeps us pretty straight and narrow. We don't do funny business here.
Or church probably don't.
When
Because we don't
it comes
have
to all
house.
of them, between us and then Polsbo is going to be the other one that doesn't have it quite as much, but I think they might have just. I haven't checked in on theirs in a bit. I don't know what they. I think they do, because I think they have a few more spots, so.
Bremerton's is done this year, correct? Have they already done theirs?
They've been through their process. I don't remember if council has already adopted, but I think it's imminent.
And that's what you think the
But I
400K,
believe the committee's made their recommendation, they just haven't voted.
and that was the 400K that you were saying?
Yeah, there's 400 some odd. Okay, anything else? Okay, our first presenter is here, so I would like to welcome up Al Chalin with Visit Kitsap.
You could sit here or next to the chair or next to
Wherever you like.
wherever you'd like.
We haven't
Just
designated the spot yet.
Microphone, right there, so.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna put this in
I am, but you don't me, vice president this year, so I'm like, you need to learn how to do this for next year.
Thank you.
All right, welcome Al Chalin. I will let you take it away.
Thank you for letting me be here today. I am Angela Silver, the Executive Director of Visit Kitsap. We've been around since 1983. I've been in my role since 2023. And have been excited about the progress that we've made, and I'm thankful for the $5,000 that was awarded to our organization this year for photography, which we'll be sending our reimbursement request later this month because we got our final set of photos in from the holiday on the bay. And so what we're excited about doing for that is not just having these photos available for the community to be able to access, but also rebuild our Port Orchard destination page, which we've already started doing. And so if you've seen some of the other landing pages that we have on our website, Polsbo and Bremerton are built out a little bit more. And so that's what we're doing with Port Orchard. So then that way we also have a where to stay, where to eat, where to play, essentially, specific for Port Orchard. And so it's not just the directory, but actual build out landing pages with more information about Port Orchard. And then be able to leverage that if we're awarded again in 2026 for the advertising. And so hopefully saw in our application some of the other advertising creative that we've done. And so we'll focus based off of the budget, but it's primarily been the visual just because it's more cost effective. And we want to make sure the dollars go far. And so this year, to give you an example of the results that we can drive, or actually, well, I'll start with this year. So this year we started fall campaigns for Polsbo, Bremerton, and Kitsap, and those have so far generated 600 room nights. We anticipate a lot more by March because there's a 3-month drag is the best word that I can think of to be able to calculate and track those book nights. But 600 room nights so far to date, and that is since October. And that again, Polsbo, Bremerton, and Kitsap hotels. And so again, yeah, we'll see more results as we go through March. But for you all to know, for trips in Port Orchard in general, there have been almost 300,000 in Port Orchard, resulting in over 1 million visitor days in 2025. So that's like almost 4 days that people are staying in Port Orchard with a big bump in March, and then obviously the summertime, once you see those big bumps. Also, the city has collected over $174,000 in collected lodging tax. So as a DMO, we don't just help promote, but we also track what's coming in, where are the dollars going? So then that way we can have very data-driven campaigns that are run. And then short-term rentals are generating over 52,000 room nights. That's just Port Orchard. And that's almost $5 million generated in revenue. And then hotels, that because you have a 7% market share, there's 144 rooms of hotels. We're estimating that's almost over 28,000 room nights, so almost a $3.79 million in lodging revenue. So just trying to give you an example of all the things that we track and do and are able to do as the DMO for Kitsap and the different campaigns that we can do for Port Orchard. That's all that I have right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Questions for Aljalyn and Visit Kitsap?
So you're tracking them like through the links that they're your hotel nights and things like that. When they click on a link, that's how you're kind of tracking.
Yeah, so it's part of it is through the clicking on the ads. And then also we use a platform called Datafy where we're sending out the ads, and then you can track how many people are clicking on that. And then you can track when they're coming to the area. And then if they are staying at the Comfort Inn, for example, we can track if they're staying there. And then if they stay for 2 nights or more, we can track that. Does that make sense? It's based off of their mobile data.
And so the money that you're asking for 2026 would help build out the Port Orchard page on your.
Well, we'll do that anyway, but it's to help execute the campaign. So different digital ads. And then even if we're able to produce a new commercial, I don't know that one exists right now, except for maybe what I've seen on the city site, but something more tourism driven, that would be a good use of the funds too.
Do you think FIFA based?
The way that we are focusing on FIFA is making sure that we have evergreen content and making sure people know what people can do. A commercial, we could have that be focused on FIFA and have like a sports component to it, but we really want to focus on the holistic part of tourism and not just a 6-week event. What was I gonna say? We are putting together a sports facilities guide over the next year too. So then that way when people are coming here for sports, they have access to essentially a directory of where to play and host the sports, which hotels are nearby these fields and everything. So that's also what we're working on over the next year.
If someone didn't live here, say they lived on the Midwest or East Coast or something, how would they find Visit Kitsap? I mean, how do they know to look on your website?
Yeah, so that is where the advertising can come in to help make sure we're targeting somebody in, let's say, Illinois, Chicago. Right now, so we can use the digital advertising for target. We can use Datafy. We can look at some of their local media outlets. Like, let's say they have the Chicago Sun. Newspaper's not the best one, but we can identify the best media outlet, like their version of West Sound magazine, and then target and advertise there. But what we're seeing right now is our primary market are those drive markets. So people coming from Portland, Spokane, Idaho, and Bellingham. And so those are the big drive markets. And then in terms of fly markets, we've got a lot of people coming from LA, Phoenix, Houston, Texas, and so more west of the Rockies. And so we could, with a more robust budget, be able to reach further, but those are our primary markets that are coming to visit us.
What things do you advertise that Port Orchard does to promote? Like, what do you draw them in? What are you promoting?
Usually, so for a shoulder season, you want to promote either you have events that are happening or things to shop, eat, do, shop and do, shop and eat, thank you. And then presented as a package of like, okay, here's what you can do in a 3-day period in Port Orchard or, you know, wherever you're coming to Kitsap. And so you can promote the Bay Street area, or you can even promote the different parks, and then any like spa type of things or, you know, self-care type of things, and then package that together to attract people.
Do you focus on just the city or do you kind of do South Kitsap?
Or it would have to be concentrated on the city, but you can still have outside of Port Orchard, like Olala in the Manchester area and the unincorporated parts of Port Orchard to promote. There's some great kind of tourism to do around here, so you can promote those too.
How about events? Do you touch on any of the local events?
Yeah, so one of the reasons that we really wanted to do photography was to be able to capture those community events. And so we got events from the farmers market, the Fathoms of Fun, Holiday on the Bay, and you know there's a few more on there like marquee events. So we focus on those marquee events for Port Orchard to promote, and so we can again package those in.
And your ask is 40,000 this year?
Yes.
Because we were just doing photography. What is your overall budget?
It is still in the works, but we just got approval or the city also 30,000.
I just mean your overall expected operating budget as Kitsap. Like 200,000, 300,000, 150,000.
Again, like it's based off of what we get from lodging tax. I mean, this year it's probably gonna be pretty low, maybe 60K. Maybe.
The difference between last year and this year's ask is pretty considerable. What would be the change?
So, so that we can leverage the creative to be able to reach people.
So hire more people to do.
Oh, for advertising.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot of advertising.
Okay, thank you, Aljalyn. We appreciate your time. Yeah. Give you a few minutes to jot down your notes because we will have the Port Orchard Waterfront Alliance here in about 2 minutes.
Is she out here for you as well? Okay, and you don't have anybody online, right? I think it's just Love Kitsap, but I wanted to.
Like this, yeah.
Never presented.
You know. No.
But you're good at it.
Did a Facebook Live yesterday for adopted grandparent, I'm like, you'll get through this, you'll make it.
It's easier when you know everybody in the room too, though.
She too.
Okay, everybody ready? Okay, we have Port Orchard Waterfront Alliance.
Thank you. I am Samantha Smith. I'm the president of the Port Orchard Waterfront Alliance. This is Lizzie, our incoming vice president for this. We are presenting for the Port Orchard Waterfront Alliance, and our ask this year is $31,729. It's pretty specific. We've typically asked for more because we divided it into this year. Because we are the Waterfront Association, we understand that construction's coming and there's gonna be a lot of challenges for us ahead. So we're really gearing down on basically our events to bring in people to downtown. Having construction, we already think will be a challenge, so we're trying to make sure that all of the events that we're doing are going to be geared to not just people within the city limits, but outside of city limits, because we believe it'll take a mass amount of people to help figure out that happen. So the events that we typically do are ladies' night, and then the quarter tour night markets, which we're doing 5 times this year. We do the downtown. This year we had to change a little bit. The Main Street Ghost Hunt. We do things like Shop Small Saturday. We just did this year. We are also the chair for the Orchard tree lighting, the holiday on the bay. I would not say that we're the only one, but we lead it, and it's a nice event because we do it with all the community members. And that, honestly, I would think of our organization probably the highlight of the year. This year with FIFA coming in, we are having to strategically think differently about what we're doing. Night markets averagely draw 4,000 to 5,000 people downtown on an average night market. So they're one of the largest events we do, and doing that 5 times a year is quite a bit. But we are planning them strategically around FIFA. Leading up to FIFA, in FIFA, we were actually changing it. I think one date is either the 18th or 19th. That's right when Australia's playing, so we're changing that date. Then we're going to keep them going throughout the summer. We are also talking right now with Farmers Market about doing some events when the road is closed, because if we have the road closed, it might be because we don't have to go through so much hoops to get the road closed. Maybe doing a Wednesday night farmers market or something like that, just to generate more foot traffic downtown. We do a ton of marketing, but our probably overall budget for the entire year of doing all of these events is about $50,000. And one average event costs about $30,000 to put on. So we don't know how we do it, but we do. And it's with a lot of organizations, including the LTAC that we receive. So this year, our goal for the Berkeley Waterfront Alliance is to do what we do normally, but do it very well. Very targeted and marketed. Really pulling in next year, Lizzie will be our membership coordinator that will help really get those businesses engaged. I really feel like this year is the year that the membership really wants to be engaged with one another, so it's exciting. So, any questions?
So when you say it costs $30,000 to put on an event, what are you paying for?
Well, like for Holiday on the Bay, luckily we divide that up with the city, but road closure, porta potties, marketing, road signs, staffing, because we are 100% nonprofit, we don't have any paid staff. So it's either our husbands or sometimes we have to find community members that we are able to pay just for night market alone. I would say night market costs us an average of about $10,000 to put on. We do generate money from vendors, which is great. That is always our thing, but the more that you grow, the more work there is. So this year with the road being closed, we're going to have to, again, we're thinking about doing night market down in the middle of Bay Street, which is also a challenge because of propane generator. There's all rules. So we have to hire people. That was one of the things last year. On the average night market, we need about 6 people to help monitor. There's so much traffic moving in and out. It's during the middle of the day when people are coming and going. So it's a lot of staffing and a lot of materials. This year we have to bring in extra porta potties, so there's never enough. All that stuff like that. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Would imagine in 2026 with the road closures and all the construction, it's going to be a challenge marketing wise for letting people know how to get here and that we're still open. So when I read through your stuff, it seemed like a lot of that posters, banners, that kind of thing is kind of what you're looking at.
Posters, banners, letting people know work is amazing, even on holiday. She was there, said probably 6,000 people, 4 to 6,000 people park. They find a way, but there's so much parking that people do not know. Like along the streets of Sydney, there's different parking lots. So bringing awareness to that. The other thing I noticed about porta truckers, there's a lot of new people that have no idea. I've been here my whole life. I'm like, oh yeah, you go and park down here and you think it that way. Not that it's illegal or anything, but people just don't know. So we want to bring a lot of awareness, and especially when the road is closed. We need to generate a lot of push. Like it's not as hard as it is to come. One of the things I would love to do, but I don't know if we have in our budget, is the shuttle this year. I don't know how farmers market even having some fun with a lot of parking for vendors being closed down. We're a vendor and customer talking about fuel. So shuttle is also one thing that we would love to do and heavily promote. We did do a shuttle on Holiday on the Bay, and it was packed out. So I think that would be something else if we get the budget we need. Between LTAC and the money we raised, we don't depend on LTAC 100% because it will not cover.
I didn't hear you mention the mosquito fleet. Is that going to be go or?
Yes, we,
Okay.
right now, we're waiting to hear from the city exactly when the road closure is, because it's kind of coming up, right? It's literally like landing right in mosquito fleet time, but we would still like to do that. Thank you for mentioning that. Mosquito fleet, this was our second year of doing it. It's kind of really highlighting the history of Port Orchard, which we don't have Vikings and we don't have blackberries, but we have the mosquito fleet of Carlisle, and that's what we love to highlight, and that brought in a ton of tourism from outside of Port Orchard, even outside of Kitsap. This year, in Virginia 5 will be back with us, which is one of the two left boats, or left remaining boats, which is the Carlisle and the Virginia 5. And we had a little Terry Knot boat, which is also part of the mosquito fleet. So to me, it's really the historic information of what makes Port Orchard marketable. Like, what do you market if there's nothing to market? And I think mosquito fleet is definitely one of those things. No, that's great.
No more questions? Well, they've just,
You did great.
Yeah.
Lizzie?
thank you for your time today.
Let me switch back. Talk about you. this
Yeah.
is not here.
Everyone has-
When you guys talk, I just.
You scared me when you didn't mention speed. Another one. They may this time. For the last 2 years, they went to Paulsbo, but I'm close to getting them back. I'm very close.
Yeah, but now James is there.
What's that?
So now James is there, we gotta block him so they can't talk to him.
Yeah, I got it.
Maybe it's a comment that may not be the right time, but between the people bringing money to Kitsap versus smack dab Port Orchard, to me, it's quite stunning. Because are you pushing?
Yeah.
So I find it interesting, and we have two of them doing that, not just one.
It's hard, not speaking for my group, but in general, being on the board for a couple of years now, you hear Kitsap, and I'm like, where does Port Orchard fit in that slice of the pie? Are we at 10%? Are we 15? We're not Paulsbo, I get that. We're not Bremerton, so how much of the piece of the pie do we get?
It's hard to get a draw, because even I've been living here 6.5 years, it's hard for me to say something, what would draw you to Port Orchard? Because I hate to say it, but it ain't food,
It's more
and it ain't
location.
Main Street. For me, anyway, I represent other people, either of those things as an attract who's coming from. In our Airbnb, because we have a lot of people, right? We've been at it for a while, so we've had a couple hundred guests. 80% of them are coming here to visit family. And while they're here, they do other fun stuff, which is great, but they're not filling beds by advertising. Their people are on their site to find out what else they can do while they're visiting family. So the claims about we're drawing people in on it.
I think that it will be important this year too, to try to market the road closure and how to get around that, because
Yeah.
if you get people that come in out and then all of a sudden they don't know that everything's closed. And if we don't know how to get around, they're definitely not gonna know how to get around, so I think that would be wise to help.
Where is the road?
It's,
Somewhere to where.
and that's the thing, it doesn't sound as bad to me as I thought, so it sounds like it's basically City Hall to Fredericks.
Yep.
And which is super manageable, you can go up and down Sydney, I mean, so I'm a lot more optimistic, I thought it was like all the way through the businesses, and I was
It's
thinking.
not gonna be flowing in the
Correct.
province. You'll have backup all the way past those new apartments, because they'll basically do the snow route. So they'll come right up here next City Hall, go to Sydney, take a left and go to the light and then take a right. So it's just gonna be the backup of cars, because there's not a light there at Sydney. So people are just gonna be.
We've said something, but I don't know that it was. I don't know that when we originally budgeted, we budgeted for something like that, so that is something that.
We assign no fact funds for traffic.
Yeah.
Brandy is that in our perimeter? She's like, yeah.
So blind, so blind.
On it, well, and the mayor is right, like people coming down the hill to stop on that steep of an incline is not really safe, so. And hopefully it's only for 60 days, but then maybe one-way traffic at some points and stuff like that, so that's why everything's still kind of up in the air, but.
Trouble is, I think there's gonna be some fluidity to it and trying to get the communication out, like, we should be trying to get it out now, but. We don't have a contractor yet.
Yeah, we just.
Right, like,
They-
so,
yeah.
yeah.
They're gonna
We'll
start
get there.
working on
by the mitigation place too. That's gonna be a bridge for the fish.
Oh, that front fish
We'll get
window.
one there.
Pretty soon.
I haven't heard anything about that yet. Is it in the paper today? Okay, good.
Well, I don't know about it.
Yeah, well,
Talking about it.
I know it's been on the agenda for a while to get that done. They haven't started.
Do you guys see a downside to marketing it too early? The fact that the roads are gonna be closed, here people.
Well,
See, I don't know if it's as much as marketing, but just providing paths. And so like a map, so people can, oh, there's shovels here, there's parking here, so that you have that for people when they come, give it out.
It needs to be like a we're open.
Yeah.
It needs to be
And
a
the
positive
positive
message, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes when you do too early, like when you have the big reader boards out by the freeway, I'll have customers that said, I saw that your road was closed. I'm like, that's not till next Friday, but they don't read the whole sign. So it is about.
part of that is the additional burden it puts on our businesses and events downtown, like that's not an expense they normally account for, so. Just have to keep our ears to the ground and make sure everybody's getting what they need to continue. And public awareness campaigns, right? Make sure that you're going and getting your bread and doing the things and getting your gifts at Joe's and doing the things downtown to make sure that they're supported through that time period. I think we learned from our roundabout. I hope we learned from our roundabout.
Well, we are looking at, as far as the Waterfront Alliance, what other cities do when they have major construction in downtown corridor. Like how Bremerton had a ton of construction, but they were honestly pretty vacant when they had that
Yeah.
construction, and then everything revitalized and like
It's over there now.
Yeah.
We just came back.
booming.
The condos, that's awesome.
Well, and all the businesses in Quincy Square, so it's, what do you do when you already do have, and we're pretty full downtown now, I think there's only one or two buildings that are vacant, there's a new pottery place going in downtown, it's really.
It is, we need more experiences downtown,
Mhm.
so it keeps me there, right?
Big easy, that's what my husband.
Oh, I would love, yeah.
Cool.
I know, don't tell him though, he has all these
I know
dreams.
that was their thoughts at the Rustic Grill too.
That's what they wanna do, what Hess wants to do it, what is that building?
The old-
Naughty Mermaid.
Not anymore, but I would love to, but you know,
No.
they're very proud of that space.
Very proud. No.
Hey, we've got most of those.
When I was a kid, that's all that was down here,
Dale Bonzo, I remember that, yeah.
Good mind.
and Jordan's Western wear, but,
You know, that's why Chase had a trouble getting open.
oh, really?
Yeah, the city council had put in some things that you couldn't have a service business like that.
Oh,
On-
so the bond.
It was a land use issue, so the city council had to make a change to be able to make that happen, because it wasn't a permitted use of that space. And that it really, when you go down to the history of it, was because we were trying to move the bail bondsmans out,
Yeah,
because that wasn't bringing other people.
on Waterfront.
Not the one you want anyway.
Yeah.
I had that Jordan's.
You do? Jordan's Western wear?
Yeah. I
Oh.
think. Yeah, the one that was outside.
Was that in the
Really?
dump too? Don't even tell me that was in the dump.
No, I took it.
Okay, good. Like the Santa, that's so cool.
No, I rented that building, so it was there and
Oh,
they
that's
said I could have it.
That's cool. Yeah, I lived above it when I was younger, those little apartments, everything
Oh
was
my
like pink, all the tiles, everything, I loved it. I remember watching it get torn down.
Great, next presenter is here, we got a couple minutes.
They are
for me to bring them.
Oh, yeah, they're here, bring them in. That's right, I'm sitting here waiting, thinking,
3 more, and then I switch.
We get asked about the few from last year.
no.
No. Right.
Hello.
All right, ready? Next up is the Saints Kart Club.
I'm Bill Hummel from the Saints Car Club. We're 501c. I don't know what the next number is. I think it's
3, that's okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Uh,
ready? So it doesn't matter.
We're just a little your car club is 73 years old. And we still have one original member in the club. Probably know Roger Jensen. He's still in the club. We're totally focused on charity for the community. We have last year's contributions, we gave $5,000 to different clubs like the South Kitsap Soup Kitchen, Rainbow Girls, Helpline, Backpacks for Kids, DeWay, and SK Fire and Rescue, and Tree Police, and the Kitsap Sheriff's Department. Received $500 apiece. And Toys for Tots, Christian Life Center, we always have to give out to another car show. They have a car show right after ours, and we always contribute to that. We do judging in that car show. And take our cars. Hope some of our buddies will give us a trophy. Hasn't happened yet. Lenny's barber shop is he does a lot of giving for the community. Then last year we had probably our biggest show in 10 years, I think. We ended up with 530 exhibit cars, and with our club cars, we ended up with 600 cars. And I have had one lady buy a t-shirt a couple weeks later, and she told me, she says, my husband and I have been going to car shows for nearly 30 years. And she said, and it's all up and down the coast. She says, this is the best car show that they've ever been to. And I think that's pretty good. And a friend of mine who is also a car guy goes to a show called Hot August Nights every year for the last 30 years. And this year he said, when he came to our show, he said it was comparable to Hot August Nights. So we're pretty proud of that. And that's about all I have. Got any questions?
With the construction this year, what is your guys' plan? Because you're gonna lose a lot of parking spots. Are you guys gonna limit the number of cars, or what are you gonna try to expand?
We lose some, but we have extra. So if we lose, well, I think the only thing we're gonna lose is right out here where the old tile store, where they're raising the road. That's not that many car spots unless they take the lot behind that building. I don't know how that's going.
What will you use the requested money for to bring in people from out of town?
Well, we spent $3,000 on just 8.5 by 11 flyers. And we give them out, we get 500 postcards that we mail out. We advertise in 4 different magazines, the Northwest, and that is a substantial. We have to get Santa cans because there's not enough bathrooms for the amount of people that come to the show. And that's a $3,000 expense. The advertising, it runs around $3,000. So then we have, I didn't bring that stuff with me, I'm sorry. But there's printing, a lot of printing we do.
Where do you mail your postcards to? Is it local, or do you have like a mailing list from previous?
We have a
people?
mailing list, And it's it goes clear down into Northern California. Not Nevada, but Oregon, Idaho. And we get quite a few cars from those spots.
So do you guys see how many people are out of the area when they come to, like the cars that come to the
Yeah,
car show?
yeah, we have registration slips.
What percentage is out of the 50 miles?
Probably about 20%.
So 100 or so at least.
And we get a good response.
Now, are you asking for, what is your ask? I see 100 up there.
So it cut off, so I'm assuming
That's
that
10,000.
that is not, yeah.
I did the math. Oh, you think it's 10,000? That was what it was last
That's what
year.
I was thinking.
Okay.
Geez, that's even my right.
I did some fancy math based on how you describe the numbers. 7,800. That makes more sense.
Yeah. I must have been in a hurry.
I think it's the format because there's other parts of the application was a little off, but I think it was the
Well, this is,
the gremlins behind the
The
software.
crowds.
Yeah, so I assume it's
This
10,000.
year on this new application,
Yeah.
we spent a long time with, Mark, or a regular guy passed in March. And Mark took it over, and me, Mark, his wife, my wife, and Roger put about 15 hours in on the whole application. So, as you see, I missed some stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Do you market to other car clubs?
Yes, yes, we have the handlers in this area. The beach gardens down in Long Branch. You know,
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Yeah.
Long Beach.
Yeah, they have a big car show every year too. Them, several Seattle clubs.
You're planning on the 9th for the car show of August.
Yes,
Would you guys be open at all to try to do it during the FIFA timeframe, or is that a set date?
that's what is it, FIFA?
So they're doing the big soccer thing over in Seattle, so there's gonna be lots and lots of people, and so the more we can provide them to do here, it's benefit.
And they're what time of the?
Basically,
July, right?
from June until about mid to end July.
That would be really tough, because we already have our tires made. So, yeah, that would be really tough.
On your website, do you have links to local lodging and things like that for people that come out of the area? Do you have any links to local lodging to encourage people to stay overnight?
Yes, we do, yes. We put it on our website. And that's it, it's harfield.com.
Not yet. Yeah, but not yet. Okay.
Any additional questions from Saints?
We love what you do. It's a great car show.
We're glad that you do. We put a lot of time and effort into that. And we're very proud of what we turn out.
It's tradition.
I stay at the pizza store on Saturday night.
Oh.
And it starts at about 1 o'clock when the tavern's closed.
I know, where are they sleeping? At the feed store?
Well, they put a few hay bales out back.
I will say, I was there right before 5 AM and they were going hardcore, cause we did a pancake feed with the Rotary last.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So, it's good.
Well, and that's one thing I was going to bring up, Rotary. Does a pancake feed this year. We used to have one every year, but I think it was the Kiwanis.
Yeah. It was, I was
Yeah.
with them.
And now the Rotary's doing it. Yeah, they had a good time.
Yeah, we did. It was great. So, thank you, Bill. We appreciate you being here and all you do for the city.
You need that, I know.
You may, yeah. Anytime we have a break, we may use it however you please.
Also, I can find the bars for that.
Yeah.
I don't mind being up at 3 AM when the fireworks are finished and I'm helping them unload, but I don't wanna get up to be down at 5 AM.
Do you know when that is? It would be good to have.
Last Sunday in July,
It's like,
the last Sunday in July.
so that's right.
No, that'll be,
Just
yeah, FIFA really is ending right through the fourth. The 4th of July is going to be huge. It is a double whammy this year. If you didn't realize it. It's the 250th anniversary of America and World Cup right here in Seattle. So it is going to be
Dogs.
Yeah.
I don't have it already, but the fireworks only went up 13%, so I didn't mention 250, I didn't mention FIFA.
Say what again?
Oh, the fireworks, our cost only went up
Oh,
13%. I was afraid of how expensive it was gonna be. I did get the cost if we did it on the 4th, and it's like almost double.
oh, on the 4th.
Yeah. The 3rd. Well, it'll be the Friday, because I believe the 4th is on the Saturday, because usually we like to do it on the Saturday.
So then, okay, so I have a evening party right here, whether we're home or not.
Yeah, people just help themselves.
So first, like, have you guys,
If during one of our breaks in between, get the opportunity, I would highly recommend going back through this door and checking out the creativity
Mhm.
of our city staff. They had a gingerbread house contest. Was it a house contest?
Gingerbread.
Gingerbread
decorating,
contest.
Like that, yeah.
There is a replica of the Carlisle that cannot be missed back here.
You see the ones down in the market?
I have not been down to the market yet. We had a meeting last night and I got to go see him last night during one of our executive sessions and I was like, holy moly, somebody is really creative. I don't have that phone, but God blessed me with doing math. He did not bless me with the ability to create things. Situated.
Best place for Kissimmee for WSTA. Cause we like to go over to the, office of the arts and they do it. Saves so quite a few.
I'm gonna put you right up front and let you get situated. We have 3 minutes till we get you started.
Okay.
Just,
Yeah.
Yeah, download Carlisle.
I invited everybody up through that door and see staff's gingerbread creation. They are out of control. This staff. There's a Carlisle in there that you cannot beat, made out of gingerbread.
This is like its 3rd year that I boarded myself. I boarded Mallory more. It's number 6 Rolling Brown that I think. I was like, we will do a Mario Bowser's Castle, so I've done.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, it's,
No?
I mean, I overcommit. I'm probably overcommit.
Well.
The ginger house falls to the bottom. Is it?
There is none. I
No.
wish,
I have water bottles, but that's about it.
Okay, it's okay.
You do have water bottle?
Let's do it.
Oh, you guys, thank you, please.
Cause that's what this.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, cause that's
So
the,
not for me, that's.
Very
Okay.
nature.
cause the
It's
theater
very
is at
nice.
10 a.m. and then you guys are at 10:15. Love Kids Up.
Uh,
So I'm not sure. Oh, she just walked in. So you can.
I was like, I
either-
can wing it. There she
No,
is.
just a minute. Okay,
Okay,
just making sure, but I
Yeah.
have yours for the next.
okay, great, perfect.
We're just gonna swap you guys here in just a minute.
Nice too.
Okay.
It's another hot seat.
But
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
So much.
Oh, yeah, I just got one. Sorry, it looked like everybody had some. I'm gonna offer, but.
You're gonna put those on Facebook?
We're going with that. They just invited us to take a peek as staff. It was an internal staff, you know, we.
No,
We're kind of the one people that.
Yeah.
Employee, when you go to work, outside the city, so
That makes sense.
they let us see some things, but we don't.
Those are cool.
It's an official bar now. Yeah, they should have had more, I hear you. Next up, committee, we have probably somewhat back to back, because I think his name's on two of them right here. But we're gonna start with the Port Orchard Historic Theater Foundation. So welcome to the Port Orchard Historic Theater.
Good morning. Thanks for having us back again. You want me just to go?
The time is yours, you have 5 minutes.
So basically, we're coming back again for, actually, I think we've applied for the first year, through our application, because we knew we weren't ready. So I believe this will be the third year, 26. And it's strictly for entertainment and supplies to go with that, and entertainment, music, culture, art. We've done a little bit of historical presentations until we get the theater done. So I guess mostly, I mean, you can ask me questions or Josh about some of what we're using that funds for entertainment in the backstage alley. But I really want to give you an update on the interior, because that's what everybody's waiting for. Trust me, we are too. So the theater will be 102 years old next year in 2026. We bought it 4.5 years ago, building. Brigham Ventures, and that's my husband and I, Steve, and my son Josh and Sarah. And we thought we were gonna open it in 2024 for the 100th anniversary, but the fundraising and capital grants, yeah, it's 102 years old. It's actually very solid though, really solid. So anyways, Steve and I had been involved in the Roxy Theater Foundation in Bremerton. So we had really thought we could just do miracles really quick. And it's been a lot slower than we thought. So we started with the backstage alley and the outer exterior of the building, because it makes it more visible to people. And
So we have to say that it's been a public perception for the small amount of things we're doing backstage alley. I feel like really it's added a lot to the street. You don't have a whole lot. We looked at that space and it was nearly 1,000 square feet of mud, cigarette butts. You still have a lot of extra Bay Street sitting around, right, line on the table. So kids markets, live music, the Boy Scouts, Rotary groups, we've had educational presentations. Able. It's been a blast. The public perception has been fantastic as well. Look forward to building on that.
yeah, no. And some of, I figured maybe it was probably around 14 or 15 events total this past year. Some of those being contracted user agreements for some pop-up markets, as well as both Rotaries have done events in there. So I think we.
Last the holiday event.
And we're doing things in conjunction with what else is going on in downtown Port Orchard, as well as additional events ourselves. So one of the main things that we want to tell you about is that we did get a Washington State Capital Grant of $377,000. That was huge. And we are poised, I think in January, February at the latest, to start the work. That will replace the the roof, do the roof, the HVAC, fireproofing, security that has to be done, and the restrooms. And that still leaves, we figure, 400,000 to go to do the interior, which I know some of you have been on this committee before, so, you know, I mean, we've already demolished inside. It's gonna be a wine bar concession stand, not just a popcorn and pop stand. And we're platforming the front part of the auditorium with small tables and staging, digital, all of that. So we're very excited about that. We think we have $100,000 commitment for that other 400, so.
And I'm right, I have a grant due on Sunday,
Yeah.
so we're pushing, or like you said, the 377 really signals very strongly to other organizations and grant writing approval. Like, my problem is that the first grant I ever wrote with God, so I had this very outsized notion of grant writing abilities. But you gotta go out there and the landscapes is difficult, those covered, there's a lot of need, and there's a lot of grantees putting in half, so. We feel that this 377 and really hard with Christian Johnson and Michelle Collier to get that into the biennial capital budget for really pushing hard that South Kitsap needs investment from our officials, and that came to fruition. We're super proud of that. And really, at the end of the day, whether it's a small concert in the alley or a community event or opening the whole theater, our foundation is about the cultural and economic vitality and really a renaissance for Bay Street. We all kind of feel it happening slowly. And yeah, slow has been a little bit of the buzzword here, but slowly but surely it's happening. Things that like the small amount of money kind of thing, the backstage alley really keeps the community engaged. We feel like, especially during the summer months, it gives us the ability to pay musicians and do things and buy concessions, materials, and new sound equipment as it comes up that we really need. So,
I think that those of you who've lived in South Kitsap for a while know that. I mean, I imagine it's most communities are like this. It's like if they can't see something, they don't believe it. So that was one of the reasons yes, that's one of the reasons we concentrated on the outside initiative.
Thank you. Questions for the historic?
We've asked for $2,000 from this committee. What would you be using that specific grant money for?
Almost entirely to pay artists and musicians for their talent, their time, and material that we would use for consent-free popcorn, something we like to do, and to do just for an afternoon with the popcorn, kernels, oil materials, which is about $75.
Marketing too, we do some social media.
Right, we do boosted ads, and really, you know, I don't have any illusions. Are there people traveling over here from, you know, Oregon to go to the backstage alley? Probably not, but we do ads that are a little and 50 miles an hour. We understand that they pay to RCW. But we also don't have any illusions that we are part of the texture and the fabric of Bay Street. We hope that visitors come. And there's something going on in the alley that we're contributing to reasons why people come back to the community. But to answer your question, to pay musicians and buy concessions material and advertising, marketing, and small things as they come up. You might be an extra speaker wire, or Dixie cups and popcorn bags and stuff like that.
About how much would you use?
Of the 2,000 or of, can't remember what I put here honestly, it's on the last page, so. I put we figure around 4,000 for the whole year, and the marketing is 1,750 of that. So a good hunk of that 4,000.
So we're gonna.
However, that's the amount we have from other things we do in ways, so. The $2,000, I didn't really break that down to marketing. I think it says somewhere in there.
Yeah, and we do have, we're gonna push harder as marketer this year than we have. Just it, we really wanting to be as visible and as possible as visitors are coming across the water, the things to do.
Do you have a specific FIFA plan for the alley? What FIFA's going, like an event?
We do not have a specific event other than we will be a part of everything that everybody else does downtown. And, you know, how the Merchants Association as well as the city are hoping to work. And
And now that most of the teams have been announced, we've had ideas in the back of our mind, we know we're gonna do a lot of things we did last summer, but now that we know that Australians, Belgians, and Iranians, Egyptians are coming, we'll start to kind of think about, how, if it's possible, to start to tailor events to our guests, 750,000 people potentially going to the Seattle area. And so it's like, hey, if we've got a bunch of Aussies coming to road trip, what can we do? How can we welcome them? Aside from just kind of showing local artists, having a welcoming space, but we're working through that calendar events right now.
We started our events last year, May, pretty much through 2 weekends, 1 weekend ago, whenever that, it's all already a blur in my brain. But most of them are in the summertime.
I was up there, I heard it.
The theater is on one side, the alley is it the open alley that's on the other
Yeah,
side?
between the brick building and the theater.
And the theater with the grants. Yeah, you're hoping that you'll be able to get that actually open with the grant money that came in for that part of it?
The theater?
Yes.
It's like, we need another probably 400,000
Okay.
after the state capital grant. We're
So you're into it almost $1 million then?
over to it. If you count the cost.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah. So we're pretty dedicated.
Yeah, we didn't know.
A little bit.
Dug in, it's like everything.
Just open a kitchen and then you'll be fine.
Oh.
Yeah. No cooking stuff.
So is the alley owned by the foundation?
So the foundation leases from Brigadoon Ventures. In fact, the lease has been on, I don't know when we started, I can't remember exactly, but this year, they start paying a very small amount towards Brigadoon increases.
We have the foundation has a 15-year lease, and our intention is to sell alley in the year to the foundation, I promise.
The corporation that owns the building. But yes, that alley is owned by the building and is part of the foundation.
Yeah. It's part of the footprint. We condominiumized the building and we included that alley space as part of the unit 1. So the alley will always be a part of it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you to the Historic Theater Project. Give us just a few minutes to write down our notes and then we'll get going here in club.
You need a.
Good luck. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Served on these committees before, I don't see touch. Okay.
Thank you.
You did get sent. I'll be there too.
Sunshine, so standing around.
I coming in from the carrot test last night. We went from our associate worker house. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, committee, so I'm just gonna bring to your attention that Love Kitsap did a good job of breaking out how they're going to fund certain things and what their ask is. If you'll recall, when we started this morning, there's well more than $200,000 in asks here, and we have $130,000 to allocate. So you might want to think about tailoring your questions to what we can fund, since this particular one did break that out pretty well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Love Kitsap.
We did. Okay, wrong, but so fingers crossed she will rejoin.
You blame me.
I'll just take Kelly out.
I hit remove because I wanted to remove the speaking part instead of instead of, I allowed her to talk and I wanted to remove that and add her as panelist, and I think when I hit remove. it's been- I'm hoping she'll get-
I think it's
51.
51.
There's a, it's kind of on one page and you can do it.
Yeah, it's
So
really
price it down, yeah, keep going here.
paid.
Pardon me.
There we go. It's like got this. Here it is.
So that little project,
Yeah.
decided to do a lot of the talking.
Highlight
So we're
the
trying
box
to
that you
upgrade
can
it,
see.
so.
That first thing.
Got some new stuff.
So fingers crossed, you got it, cause when I hit remove, I think it removed. You can't go back. And yeah,
That's what we're trying to invite you.
so I just sent her a new link,
Okay.
so see if that works. Yeah, I had a feeling and I did something.
I just did this one, they healed up, I did that one last night. Couldn't believe it.
I didn't see that. Yeah.
But I will.
I just did
share.
Bruce this one last Tuesday. I play handball, so it's like racquetball, but with the smaller, harder ball. And so, yeah, I was like, I did this one. So I was like, just paddles, I couldn't really hit it hard like I like to.
Nice. All right.
I got this up.
I don't
Sent
wanna-
her a new link,
Yep.
so we can continue forward and I'll get her in once we can.
Can we just start? So I'll get 5 minutes, then I'll stop watch here because I want to be a little verbose. Hello, committee. Thanks for having us here. We are Love Kids App. We are a 501c3 destination marketing organization. The Port Orchard address, no less. I'm Josh. I'm a 6th generation Kitsap Peninsula local and somebody who's from Port Orchard, loves this town. So we can. Next slide, whenever you're ready. This is the first year that we've come to Port Orchard for any LTAC ask. We have been for 3 years running the highest funded destination marketing organization on a county level, which I hope signals to this committee the level of confidence that county leadership has in our return on investment, our efficacy, our ROI, and our transparency, and the strength of our team. I just want to give you a quick look. I could share dozens and dozens of these screenshots, but this is just a little look at some of the social media work that we've done in Port Orchard in 2025, a couple of screenshots there. And you see, this is pretty indicative of a lot of the engagement that we get organically in our posts about Port Orchard and elsewhere. You can see that one has 1.3 thousand likes, 237 on that sunset, 711 likes on my sweet little daughter at the beach there at Rockwell Park. So without any sort of investment, we've already been very active in this community. Get that next slide for me. And we're super proud of that. And so the crux of our ask, I know it's proportionally it's a larger ask to the pot of money we have, but going into this FIFA year, we really are looking at a very robust strategy for Port Orchard to build on what we've already been doing. We are in Port Orchard from the South Kitsap community one way or another. But what we're really trying to do is we built this momentum. I feel like we have done a lot of good work. I'm looking forward to throwing just fuel in that fire for 2026 to see how far we can take it and maybe take Port Orchard's destination marketing, advertising, digital footprint really to the next level in a place that's never been before. Here's just a couple of examples of work we've done in 2025 that's featured Port Orchard. Here are some of the publications that we've run ads in that feature Port Orchard. We have had an ad in SeaTac, a big lighted display as you're exiting your plane That is our full page ad in Washington State Tourism featuring Port Orchard, a QR code you can scan for 25 adventures of Kitsap in 2025. We also had a nice brochure that went out with our partnership with the Space Needle that we forged last year that I'm super proud of. It's bringing people not to Port Orchard yet, but we have a partnership with the Space Needle, their Top Ticks program. So when you're at a kiosk in Space Needle buying tickets, you can actually book a tour to Bainbridge Island as well, giving a value add to their guests. And that's something that we rolled out with their team last year. I'm really looking to expand offerings throughout Kitsap. Hopefully one day Port Orchard, we need some tourism infrastructure in place to kind of support that, but I digress. Hit that next slide.
She's
Yeah,
gonna have to call you.
That's okay. We have on the next slide, you'll see, I just want to point out that we have a photo library of about 1,200 images and growing that we've been collecting for Port Orchard South Kitsap, and we offer this free of charge. You don't have to pay us any, we ask for nothing extra for these photos. And that's so the Chamber of Commerce website uses our photos. We offer them to the city, to Port Orchard Waterfront Alliance, and really to any business or stakeholder wants to use that. That's just a value add that we've tried to bring to our community. Next slide. Should running out of time. A quick stat on Love Kitsap. We get a lot of web traffic. We get a lot of Google search, a lot of front page searches. We are working on almost 5 million Facebook views. Our engagement is really organically for not pouring a ton of money as much as we can. The strength of our engagement, both in SEO and on web traffic and social, we're really super proud of. That next screen for me. Actually, let's go through this one. Oh, I can show you this later. And this is in our packet. This is in there, but we featured Port Orchard all over the place. Here's a little breakdown of the work we did at the Mosquito Fleet Festival this year, just to kind of see how this ecosystem of content, everything from the printed material to working with Port Orchard Waterfront and Maritime Washington with Josh Brawley to Carlisle story sales to printed material that we created, banners and whatnot that coincide with website article guides, social media, and it's all kind of this is the Love Kitsap. This is the Love Kitsap methodology, is that we could do full spectrum print advertising, print material, physical event coverage, and part mirrored with social media and website articles. So it's not one thing, it's kind of all things. You need to touch people at all points. It's like when they're at their discovery phase and when they're actively kind of on the ground. We're the official partner for the Bremerton, for the FIFA fan zone. So when you look at our FIFA ask, just know that we have inside relationships with the official Bremerton fan zone. We're their marketing partner, and we've been standing shoulder to shoulder with Mayor Wheeler and Mayor Katonsu and the Downtown Bremerton Association since it was announced that FIFA's coming. And we have a mandate from the county to bring marketing, to bring people there. So we've created the brand for the county, and I really look forward to doing as much as I can to elevate Port Orchard. Am I biased for Port Orchard? I'm gonna say yes. I see it as my job to bring as much dollars and time from our travelers and tourists as I can in 2026. But not just FIFA. We're not solely focused on FIFA. It's super important that this is a 365-day strategy. FIFA is a watershed generational moment for travel and tourism for the Pacific Northwest, but we are here before FIFA and beyond FIFA, kind of looking for how to elevate the community through this opportunity.
Thank you, Josh. Questions for Love Kitsap? It's not.
So your overall operating cost was about 400K, is that for last year, what was your overall operating?
We had, I might get this a little wrong, I think we had about 265 countywide marketing tourism promotions.
I just mean as an overall, your total operating
And then you
budget.
had 150,000 earmarked from the county to do FIBA preparation, branding, website work.
So you're about 350.
Yeah.
And then
365.
okay, what percentage of that actually went to the advertising part of it? So
I would have to email you that.
it was like a third, half.
All of our, so we're all, I wouldn't be able to tell you that off the top of my head. I wouldn't want to spitball that to you. We do a lot of print advertising. We run a BAM trips. The print advertising market tends to be a higher cost.
And that's good. I mean, do you guys have salaries, other kind
Yeah,
of?
we're all contractors, so everything, that's one of the things about a lot of Kitsap that kind of differentiates us from some of the other organizations, is that there's no PTO, there's no office, there's no salaries, there's no.
Pay the contractor,
We don't have contractors.
but that's separate from the advertising costs.
Correct, correct. And we do everything in-house, from design, photography, and coverage, consultation, websites for. It's kind of a all-in-one, we're about a 5-person team. Our team combined is over 100 employees and travel, tourism, PR, marketing. People who work for EDs, for Visit Cambridge Island, for Visit Seattle. Tourism, marketing, yeah.
So on your request, you've got it very specifically broke down into 5 different categories of ask. What is is it prioritized from top to bottom, or what would your priorities be?
Okay, no, I wouldn't say that's prioritized from top to bottom. My priorities would be, if I had to kind of pick and choose, right? Look, the data and analytics platform is important. Every municipality in the county has been doing a lot of guesswork on what is the ROI? Where are people coming from? Some organizations use things like Datafy, and it works to a certain capacity, but a lot of that information has actually been gate kept and we don't really know. And so unfortunately, when organizations come in and they kind of go, well, how many has beds? Nobody quite knows, and people are in a position to kind of make some things up because that's what's expected. So the Sartico platform, this tourism data analytics, is a state-of-the-art platform. And I think it's really, the ask from Port Orchard isn't that much. We're negotiating with Sartico for 2026, and that's going to be about $65,000 for the whole year. I would also say that Port Orchard Trifold, I think that's something we can design that can be used for multiple years and multiple seasons. They're going to give people a sense of activity and engagement on the waterfront. I feel really strongly about.
Where would those be?
Downtown businesses, farmers markets, we can work with to.
Anything on the ferries or anything like
I
that?
hope so, yeah. But also the State Kitsap World Cup promotion for Port Orchard, that 20,000. You know, I think now is the time to really advertise Port Orchard in a meaningful way that maybe hasn't been done on the scale. We tend to keep things a little smaller and kind of people come and there are, totally, people are running Facebook ads, but I'm looking at something a little bit more robust with wider circles, looking at this international audience with the mind of not just how can we get as many people here, squeeze as much money out in June, July, but how do we create a brand identity and repeat guests, repeat people, short-term vacation rentals and hotels, and take this moment to spend the money, double down on the investment that's already been made in people preparation and marketing strategy, and spend the money in a way that signals a lot of confidence in our ability to advertise and build a brand destination.
We have time for one more question.
Just real quick, the amount requested on the actual page wasn't listed here, so what is the official ask of?
51.
I assume so, but I want to.
Yep. And there's everything that we've requested, we feel is worthwhile and is a good ask for Port Orchard, but we understand that decisions have to be made. I think overall marketing for Port Orchard, and also the year-round Port Orchard media and content creation, photography, social promotion. That's something we're doing in a limited capacity as much as we can, as you've seen. I'm really proud of what we've done in this limited capacity, but that would give us even more ability to have the bandwidth and also hire additional talent to make sure that we are advancing Port Orchard 365, as many events, as many businesses, as many points of interest as possible.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Love Kitsap.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Appreciate this committee. Thank you very much.
Minutes, and then the next presenter is here and additional is out there as well, so.
Yeah.
Minutes.
There was a percentage of kids out.
Oh, they're usually high, 80,000 of 100, yeah, that's not uncommon to get 51.
Considering their competitor was 10.
No, she was asking,
Oh, 5.
no, they were.
40.
40, yeah.
They do, right, like I did some work with the chamber, Greater Kitsap Chamber for the county, and they asked for the entire budget, right, I mean. If you shoot for the stars.
Yeah.
You get something.
As I said.
Numbers game.
That's kind of why I wanted to know what the priorities.
Yeah, I thought.
It really depends on us.
Exactly.
I think that's what it comes down to. So hard when you don't know what it hits, or what it does, it put hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's great, but
Is the occupancy at the hotel higher? The occupancy have to, everybody know how they do.
it's Navy,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Oh,
Navy,
yeah.
like, workers that they
Yeah.
put there, so it's
Right.
not a lot of.
Our place, there's so close, back to back.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have pretty good occupancy everywhere it happens.
We're the place on fire.
We don't have a lot. We need more up.
Pancake house.
I would call it Sundays, those markets, you can show you the take scratch of it. Pass it around.
Okay,
Right?
committee. Next up, we have Fathoms of Fun. I'll turn it over to them for their time.
Well, this last year, we have worked really, really hard to up our game, kind of see what we can do to get the younger generation involved and interested. And really, one of our main focuses has been boosting the economy. So partnering with businesses around town, getting people down there to shop, during the event and everything. And I feel like we've done a really good job of that this past year, but we are looking to try to boost that still. One of the things that we have going on is all of our normal events. I'm pretty sure everybody here has at least heard of Fathoms of Fun, been around forever. We have our parade for the last Saturday of June, and we have the fireworks on July 3rd, both of which are within the FIFA zone. So in addition to our regular summer concert series, many of those will be during the FIFA timeframe as well. So we will be putting on a lot of events that are going to be down here on the waterfront. So it's easy for people to come across from Seattle, from Bremerton, and kind of get a feel of Port Orchard, hopefully stay and check us out. So we've got one extra event that we'd like to add this year, and that's what these are, to kind of give you an example. So yeah, so these are as simple as it's called a path tag on the little keychain here, or the geo points, which is as simple as some of the small coins in here, or as elaborate as like this piece that had 4 different magnets, because Tri-Cities has 4 different cities, so each magnet represented a city, or this one, each ring represents a city. So what this is it's an event, think of like a scavenger hunt. I don't know if anybody knows what geocaching is.
It's huge.
It is huge. It is worldwide. There are over 4 million users worldwide. It's a huge thing, and they have mega events, giga events, and it just means big thing. And what I did notice this year is we had a small pop-up one in downtown Port Orchard on Main Street for about 2 or 3 hours, and I looked at the demographics of who came, and of 116 individual user names, 79 of those were from more than 50 miles away. Of that 79, 21 of them were for even outside of Washington. So if you look at the percentages there, geocaching is a huge global thing that brings people from everywhere. I personally have gone to multiple ones. Tri-Cities Tourism Bureau does one every year for like 15 years straight. Battleground, we've gone down to Oregon, we've gone to a few of these, which is why I have so many to share. But you can see that the 2-hour pop-up one we had down here, the Tri-Cities one, I didn't go through and look at where everybody came from, but I did see that there were over 800 for a 2-day event, over 800 individual usernames that bought the event. So we would like to do one that represents Port Orchard. We could do something similar where we have like the Lala, Manchester, Bay Street represented kind of like similar to the Tri-Cities, where there's different pieces. So that's one of the events we would like to put on between the parade and the fireworks in that time frame. So it is in FIFA, because we know that these families that are coming for FIFA, they're coming for a 3-hour soccer game, but they're gonna be here significantly longer than that and need stuff to do. And everybody in the family maybe likes soccer, so maybe they wanna do something that's not necessarily exactly soccer related, but festivals, fun events that they can do, travel around our community and just have events. So that's what we're looking at event wise. Marketing wise, we started this year dipping our toe into digital marketing. We've been longtime print people, but we are trying to get into the modern age, like I said, and we did actually really well with our analytics. I know that I shared a couple of the various posts that just showed how many people were responding, and just on some of our small events, some of our bigger events had 18,000 views or 13,000 views. And that was just us testing it out because we weren't really sure about a lot of that yet. So now that we've kind of gotten the feel of it, we want to expand that. We would like to, once the games are announced and we know what countries are going to be coming to Seattle, we have even thought about, okay, well, Facebook, for the same price, I can market to Spain and the big areas in Spain to let them know, hey, while you're coming to Seattle for FIFA, come over to Port Orchard and do these other festivals and check out what else we have to offer while you're up here. So that's kind of where we're at. You can add to any of that.
Yeah, so obviously we've been doing Fathoms now for a couple of years with the chair, and we've got it going, and now we're looking to move into the next step. So this coming year, we're really gonna work on marketing, reaching out to different businesses, the community, because we can't be funded just by Port Orchard. You guys should fund us, we want you to fund about a quarter of what we do. We want to get about 50% from big sponsorships, government, LTAC, but we want to get the rest from other community members, businesses. We want people to know about Fathoms, not just think it's Port Orchard doing the fireworks. So we're really going to push on the good marketing plan. I saw Josh's presentation about FIFA, so we're going to basically do that for Fathoms and just hit up Kids Sabbath.
And I did want to add, this coming up 4th of July, it is America's 250th birthday. So while we would like to do a bigger, better fireworks show, just to maintain our current fireworks show, over the last 2 years, it's gone up 15% each of the last 2 years, which is a cumulative effect of nearly 33%. So nearly a third more expensive just in the last 2 years. So while we'd like to go bigger, obviously, you know, we will scale based on whatever it is we get funding wise with our fundraising. We have upped our fundraising game, and we're searching for grants like for the Suquamish Tribe, the casino grants. So we are working at trying to be able to boost that, but having our 250th birthday with all of these countries represented coming in, I'd like to do it bigger and better and just say, hey, go us, I guess, kind of.
One more. Okay, so basically for fireworks on that $5,000, we would like to bring big bands in during the concerts while they're at FIFA. That $5,000 kills all of our bands, and so we need some additional funds to be able to put on those bigger events so that when people come, they have something great to see. So,
Questions for Fathoms?
We love what you do. So this is kind of your geocaching is kind of like a charm walk, but more unisex. I mean, it gets more gender fluid and probably spread out more. So like Manchester, so it really gets people moving throughout all of South Kitsap. So
Love it.
but more than a multi-day event, so it provides the necessity for people to stay overnight.
And
It's not
eat
just to come in and
meal.
go.
Okay.
That's what I was wondering, for people that get noticing coming in from other states.
Yeah, like when we go to Tri-Cities, we stay there all weekend to do it, and then we have fun in the city, you know, so.
Questions for Fathoms?
You guys have come a long way. You kind of went in feet first to Fathoms, and yeah, it's impressive. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you, Fathoms. Now, a few minutes that we have the chamber here in about 6 minutes. Restroom is this way. I'm heading that way.
Are you going to your walking event today?
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. I believe so, yes.
I've never heard of it before, I thought, half my car.
Oh, good. Up the night market now and she has some markets in the back of Gathered. It's kind of become a popular thing where Goodwill honestly is a multi-million billion-dollar business and people don't want to donate, but nicer used clothes or gently used furniture, home decor, stuff like that, and then people can just come swap, no dollars need to be exchanged. Yeah, I kind of like it. We were actually talking about it when the government was shut down, and I was like, you know, there's a lot of people that need jackets, and I have a couple brand new ones that I don't want to give them a Goodwill because they're $60, but
I like to go to that place.
oh, Abraham's, yeah. And they give
Rubber
it,
meets the road mission.
yes, yes, she does. Yeah, so it should be fun today, and hopefully this will kind of take off. They're really more popular in more developed areas, more urban areas. So I'm hoping that it seems like everything kind of trickles in 3 months after, like New York does it, we finally do, you know, we're just kind of on the end tail, but it should be fun. Yeah,
Packed up food bank stuff, I'm excited.
yeah, my
I
daughter,
just cleaned out the closet there, I have pictures and.
oh
bedding,
gosh,
I have lots of.
oh, we're gonna love that. Yeah, they're getting out the tables. I was like, you guys can use my space, I'll just show up.
But do you just set your stuff out on the table? That's what I was trying to figure out.
I don't know. I know that Brittany has racks too, with like hangers and stuff. So it's really more of an honor system. Like you bring stuff and you can get stuff. So, you know, I'm like, what happens if somebody comes and just tries to take it all? They're like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, no, that's good.
I wouldn't really care, honestly, I was gonna take it to the.
So
you know,
give it,
the-
yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
know.
want to take
My
it.
daughter last time. Yes, get rid of that. She's like, I just feel so bad. I'm like, I feel bad that I bought it. You know, wear it. So let's not do that anymore. But I take it that's just tea. Trying to get used to that.
No, it's not, I take it. It's so bad. It's not, but- How are you? My shopping.
Doing good. Just
Now, like,
Luckily,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
Maybe she's gonna pause and go to my Christmas decoration. I love fun foods.
Wrapping up.
Kind of like mixing the new and I'm like, just stop. I love it.
Oh,
People are
thank you.
very.
It worked. Good, glad it did.
Good, how are you? You've had a couple crazy weeks.
It's good, we have already too.
Oh, boy.
And it's not over.
No, it's not even new yet.
Green drinks popping up.
Oh, that's right, it's Sydney.
Sydney,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, that's not gonna. Well, we're here, we're early, should we get started? Give us a little break, is it, okay. Next up team is South Kitsap Chamber of Commerce.
You'll be great.
You'll be great, tell us about what you're looking to do.
So, basically what I'm looking to do is, focus a lot more on our marketing. I know that our last LPAC application included a lot of events that were never sought through. We had a previous leadership that had a lot of big dreams and we left a lot of money sitting on the table. So, with that said, basically, we want to push harder on the marketing side this time. We're not looking so much into events, except for our long-lived, loved chamber events, our cornhole competition, the Seagull Calling Festival. We're getting phone calls from people out of state about Seagull Calling. I didn't realize that much. So I'd really like to see a higher marketing turnover on that, get it spread further outside the state even, because I mean, I had somebody last year call from. I don't even remember, but we're getting calls out of California and wherever else. We really want to focus on that, and part of that too is kind of, we haven't had good marketing materials that we could send out. I get phone calls all the time. Can I get information about Photo Orchard? We're going to be in the area. And I don't have it since 2020. That was the last time we had good marketing materials that we can send out. It's really dated. So I'd like to see that upgraded. Like I said, we stick to the regular events that obviously bring in. I don't have the bandwidth or the manpower right now to create anything very special and very new, but that's really for thousands of fun. So, but we're here to support you. Thank you for all you do. And then on top of that, like an actual visitor engagement and experience. I mean, right now we have our downtown kiosk that we have. I'd like to see that slightly upgraded, have more better material in it, more information, and then some way to like actually engage the visitor. Like, this is my name and my phone number, send me information, or this is where we came from. Here's our zip code, how we traveled here. How we're gonna do that is probably in the beginning, like a guest book style. It may or may not be digital, but we'll see how I can swing that. Just basically the visitor center and the operations center giving more of an outreach in that area. Right now, we just have nothing to outreach with. So having that material and that reach to just get the information out there. We have so many things happening here, and not all of it's chamber by any means, but we're like that hub. We connect everybody together, and just being able to provide that information when the people call and say, we would like that, or don't have it. So that's basically my gist of where we're going with everything here. We're not doing anything major, we're not doing anything huge, but we'd like to take what we have and make it bigger and better and more obvious.
Questions for the chamber?
Are you hearing from other presenters today? Have you collaborated with like a Love Kids app, Visit Kids app kind of thing where they're maybe producing some materials that you guys could use that you don't have, that kind of things?
Well, I have an interesting relationship with Love Kids app. I've attempted to work with them in the past, and because they don't consider a lot of what we do personally as a chamber a heads and beds ordeal, they don't really want to push my specific events, my specific, they share a lot of the things that happen in Port Orchard, and they're usually not. I do have a meeting with her at the beginning of the year to see where we can bridge that gap, because the creation of Love Kids Up and the Kids Up Tourism Coalition stemmed from all the chambers coming together to get them to help us be that. And we've kind of been left out in a lot of that. So I'm gonna look for a little bit in January, but I'm not sure where it's gonna go right now.
But like as far as pictures and availability of that.
Oh, I can get pictures.
Okay. But as far as marketing for chamber, they don't do, yeah, okay, thank you.
Additional questions for the chamber?
When did you take over?
April.
Okay, just halfway through the year.
You're learning things.
Yeah. You got your first LTAP.
Oh, can't say I was real excited, you guys. And I feel all of you being very friendly, but this is not my gig.
Well, you did just fine.
Okay, fine.
Glad we could be easy on you here at your first go.
Thank you.
So, they didn't grill you with a bunch of questions. Last chance. Okay. Thank you for the
I
chamber
appreciate it.
for your time here today and all you do for us. All right, another little break here, and as soon as the Mustang Club is ready, we'll bring them in, and should be our last presentation.
15th to July 6th.
Thank you.
June 15th to July.
It is close.
Yeah,
I have to vote down, so that was pretty close.
yeah, the 19th is the big game.
I try to book my Airbnb in July, even though my bookings are only open for 3 months. So when they gave me a request to book in July, I'm like, that shoulder season rate, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Right? Like, 180 a night is my shoulder season.
Yeah.
July.
Does VBRO and Airbnb we like adjust it knowing events are coming or
We
holiday
did.
season?
We did do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Most of us have software that helps drive the rates for supply and demand and.
Yeah.
I did some searching when we first talked about it, and there were a lot in Seattle that were letting you book out. I mean, they hadn't updated their pricing, so I'm sure that'll be fun, I guess, there.
They're gonna be sorry.
Yeah. Even that was, I missed out on like a.
Yeah.
So.
I don't block,
Yeah.
block, figure out what I'm.
Oh, gosh.
Get the market idea.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, I don't know if it's all gonna come true, but they say you could charge up to, like, if you have a whole house to rent out, $5,000 a week.
That's what, so when they did the Masters at Chambers Bay, I think we talked about that last time, they were renting out homes down there for, I wanna say like 20 grand. Find
We
some.
actually got them started in Airbnb, just rent a cabin, I'm like, what? And then it was fun.
Well, that's a nice way, I mean, depending on your users, I mean, it's always nice to have that as an investment than just sell it, cause then you can sell later on if you want to, for whatever the exorbitant, whatever it goes to in 10 years, you know?
Highly recommend running it by your spouse before deciding that you wanna put your house out for rent.
Oh, yeah, well, we didn't live there.
She had some very strong conviction.
Right, that was your big.
That was my plan, but it is no longer, let me tell you that.
Damn idea.
Yeah.
The weapon action.
I told her, I said,
Yeah, I have a trailer I can
they're
stay
gonna
in.
they're gonna be here, like, there's a good 4-week, 5-week period.
I can do that.
So, yeah, I could be a deal.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of inquiries
She
about
doesn't want people going through her stuff in her house. So that's-
how far in advance do they usually come?
I think in the Seattle proper, people are starting to book, but out here,
It's gonna be
and a lot of people like. To.
I think January, people are gonna be booking.
Yeah.
The holidays will be over. The teams are announced now. They're gonna be doing their research right now. In January, they're gonna come hard and fast. I think it's gonna hit over here pretty quick. They say there's not gonna be a room available in a 3-hour radius any which way. And so we're well within that 3 hours. So I think we're
They're
gonna.
talking about it, very important. I thought
Not from Puerto Rico, but you can jump it, right? And take the foot ferry there. But they're trying to do some specific extra boats for games and stuff that will just boom, boom, boom. But I think it's not gonna be run as Kitsap Transit, I don't believe, and I think the pricing for those types of things, I've seen some stuff floated like $150 to get a ticket on that ferry, there and back. Well, cause there's small capacity, right? You're trying to get over there in time for a match.
Crazy thing is, our girls just book solid back to back in summer anyway, and so to add the. Good. In Brooklyn.
I worry about our merchants and stuff, making sure that they have their staff, like, to me, it would be a great time to get out of the area and go do a vacation somewhere outside of where they're having fun. But then business is gonna need me, right? The other businesses are gonna need their employees, and so it's. I think the worst we're gonna feel is transportation. That's everywhere.
Yes, it's all working, just moving here to Seattle and Seattle to here. It's worked out really well. You can walk down to the. From my, from my vacation, they can walk into the foot ferry, stuff over to Pemberton and off to Seattle.
That's gonna be a huge selling point.
At the end of the boulevard, Yellow House, with Santa.
I used to work at the military cargo building, so we had the view right down on the which is now blocked by condos. I bet he's happy about that.
That's at the very end.
You can't miss Santa. He's huge.
Sorry, we didn't see some of the banners on the Fremont. There's a couple banners on some light posts, so you just have to look for them.
Oh, that's what's gonna ask you, Brandy. Are they ever gonna bring back where you can put the banner across town?
No, our utility poles won't support it. It doesn't meet the height requirement, or over the state highway.
Somebody hit it once and.
It was super cool.
That was a small part of it.
I liked the Christmas garland across. It's really nice. Oh, it's been years.
Wow, yeah, probably eight years ago.
Yeah, I have all your information if you need. And not the one, did you have a training? Did you have a training for one? Did you have a training for the one you have now?
I didn't have a watch here.
You did, okay. Should not have been expired as you on. They're 84 beyond, yeah. So. Well, you get the one.
You ever see the guy that has the cars across from Walmart? He's got like an old Corvette, he's got a Trans Am.
Is it the bus?
He just bought the bus. now.
Yes, that thing's like looking at you as you're
Yeah,
driving.
he's basically right across from the Dutch Brothers. And he had some cool cars and now he has a freaking charter bus.
Okay, perfect. Come on in, get yourself situated. Let me know when you're ready.
Yes. Screaming Eagle.
Okay, committee, our final presentation today is from the Kitsap Mustang Club, so welcome.
And I know Brandy.
I'm Shelley.
Shelley.
Mike's part of your group too, right? Mike Smith.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's
he's
in our
on
club.
with
He's in
Fabulous
our
too.
club, yeah. Okay, so, I guess I just talked for a while, maybe ask me questions. So
5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. Well. Everybody got to see everything in the application, so I did okay, I guess, because I'm here, right? So, anyway, we do try to promote Port Orchard on everything that we publish. So, like on our show flyers, our programs, on our trophies. Some unique things we do with our show is we take a picture of every car that comes into the show with the waterfront on the background. And now that we come in Sydney, we can, the cars that get a picture by the ferry dock gets Port Orchard, the little sign there. Sure, we tried to put that in there. So everybody goes home with everything about Port Orchard, and we beforehand we advertise with Sound Publishing and all the county. We advertise nationwide in the Mustang Club of America National Magazine about our show. You know, we're relatively a small show compared to other car shows that you have in Port Orchard, but we strictly just stick with Mustangs. And it's not that we don't like other cars at all, it's just that that's what the club's always done. But with the footprint, and that has shrunk a little bit, and we're not gonna expand like, you know, Bay Street and do all the like stuff. But anyway, we take a picture, like I mentioned, we take a picture of the car, of every car that comes in, and they get a calendar that they take home with them. Now, this is the one that we had done with our thank you that we give to our sponsors, and we give those out to our sponsors after the show. I can pass this around if you want to see. It's our, I just haven't ordered them. It's like we gave them all out, but so we take a card with them. So they get this like all year. So I have people say that they, you know, sometimes they just, if they don't get a trophy, they get this too. But if they get a trophy, then they get this as well. So they love Port Orchard. That's one of the largest comments that we receive is that this city is their favorite venue. So that's one of the comments that we get frequently that come. We get people that come back repeatedly. We've had people that have come here for, you know, 30 some years.
And then we get new people all the time that rotate in. and out. So, what else to talk about? We, so this is just a sample of one of our trophies. I guess I grabbed on some 24, but 23. But, so they get a trophy. This is our sponsorship one. The ones that the participants get, their photograph is on their trophy. So they see, you know, where they were, wherever they hang it. But, anyway, let's see. So you saw the ad. Did everybody see everything that was attached to? You've seen everything, so I don't know if you all had, right? Okay, so we do get a lot of sponsorships around the county. We concentrate on Port Orchard, but we do go out throughout the Kitsap County too. And we have people come from all over the state. We have a few that come from Mustang clubs in Vancouver, in Oregon, in Canada. There's so many shows during the summer. We don't have a conflict with any of our Mustang club in the area or in the state, because we try to all alternate days so we don't overlap. So. Anyway, I do have a little challenge, and I don't know nobody's here. Is anybody here from the hotel? The hotels? No. So because we call, you know, after the show to see how many that they, you know, participate that have, and I was able to talk with Fred year before last for the Comfort Inn, because that's our main one that we. And we do advertise on the flyers too, or the hotels. And I know there's been a few people, or a few on the committee that has had bed and breakfasts. We do promote those as well. We do online registration. So all the people that have come like last year and the previous years, we, you know, do an email blast out to them about upcoming show. They get the flyer. They, you know, have contact information on there for the various lodging in the area. If they're full, we have directed them to downtown Bremerton because it's an easy commute around. Another thing we do, are we done? 1 minute? We work with Port Orchard Ford, who's one of our sponsors here in town. And on Saturday, they have done a like a show and shine and barbecue in the afternoon. So we're gonna they did something different last year and did a poker run that they just made a stop there, but it was really beneficial for people to be able to come there. We could sit and visit with some people that come from out of town on Saturday afternoon. So we're gonna do that again this year. And so that's a real benefit, because try to draw people in from, you know, maybe come in Friday, because we have guests that come in Friday, stay over Saturday. Some even come Saturday or just to the show and stay over Sunday because the traffic, they don't want to deal with the traffic going home, so they'll spend the night too. So am I done?
Good, thank you. Questions for Kitsap Mustang Club?
You said you were having a challenge with hotels. Did we?
Oh, getting
Airbnb.
feedback on how many guests, you know, are there, because
Are available or guests that stayed?
yes, that stayed like show weekend. I've had Mr. Chang say that they love our show weekend because they get a lot of, they get their hotels pretty full. But I kind of, because lodging tag, you know, when we do the, I think in the first of the year, January, February timeframe, we'll do that, and they want us to report like about a guesstimate of how many rooms that. If you do have a bed and breakfast, I'd love the information.
All three of us do.
Okay. Your information
I think my
today, and
people,
we'll,
because my house, they can see the street.
is it
So
up
I
on
look
city?
outside and, oh, look, a Mustang show, but I don't recall anybody telling me that they're staying
Oh.
there because of it.
Because of that,
Yeah.
They-
well,
They may or may not, some of the guests, they come and go, I don't even talk to them, right?
Yeah,
My house is attached to my house, that's why.
Right.
So,
And
it's not-
I make sure there. If you give me your contact information, because frequently we'll get calls and say, hey, the hotels are full. Or something, and then, we'll direct them like to downtown Bremerton because it's in, 6 or 7 miles from
Sure.
the bay, but, I had local, have gotten it from the How.
Yep.
The,
Mr. and Mrs. House.
I forgot her name. But anyway, yeah, I would love your information. So that would be great.
How much of the $4,000 do you think is spent on marketing?
Well, last year we were 2,500. It was cut down to 2,500. So we spent about 14, almost 1,500 on advertising. Some of it goes to like operations because we have to have the porta potties. We have the sound system, so the rest of it mainly goes to that, but we could do more with that. What we did this year, not with the lodging tax funds, but the club invested in a new color printer. So it helps us be able to do more printing to get more information out, so flyers and different things. And the show program, I don't know if you've ever seen this, we do this too. So we were able to do a lot of in-house printing on our own, rather than having to pay for it out, which gives us more funds to be able to do things like that with advertising. But if you have some recommendations for us about advertising, I would love to hear them, where else we could go. I know one question in there was about networking with the other, like the Saints and like Cruising Sunday, other car things that are in the community. And we do that. I've reached out to Bill Hubble and Larry Rubio. So we do network with that, but I'd like to get more ideas on what they do.
What must they typically get to a show?
Well, pre-COVID, we were closing in on 300. So, then 2020 came, we did the show, 21 came, we were preparing for it, but then, we weren't able to apply for it until really late, and we'd already had another location set. So that's the only 2 years we haven't been in a lot of prints, 92. But, back to your question. So after that, we have around, last year we had 170. I know that the parking areas that we're able to use, and thanks to being able to some of your parking behind there, Vivo, there's 200. There's about 200 mark spots. So we do get creative if we had more than that 200 without blocking the fire lanes. We can strategically put cars down the middle and caps and things like that. But it is around the last few years, 170 to 190.
Do you know how many of those are out of the area? Are they mostly local or?
Didn't bring much,
That's
yeah,
okay,
but
yes.
we're gonna be doing that. So I know we report like how many have traveled 50 miles or more, and there's a
It's okay.
sorry, but I have it. I should have brought my automatic. And we'll put it in here.
Any last questions for Kitsap Musting Club? All right. Thank you for coming and giving us your time today, and thank you for being part of our community. Much appreciate it.
I can leave some of these programs and do those with them. Look at them. Yeah. You can, I don't know if I have enough for you.
No.
Oh, we do put. We do put their, we can put our logo on here, but because I
I showed you before about. There's 500, and they have quarter to question. So they could take the. I know I don't.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, Andy, so I'm gonna give this 2-minute little break here if you wanna use the restroom one last time before we begin deliberations. Now would be the time to do that, otherwise we'll get started here in just a moment. Ms. Wallace.
Oh, sorry,
This slide too.
focusing, okay, I'm sorry, yes.
I sent you a little email that maybe can get us started in this process to help you fill in that.
And I apologize for the errors that were on that spreadsheet.
You're
I
fine.
fixed them.
You're fine, and you're gonna have to see mine because you'll see that I just plugged them in spots that they don't belong.
And then did you just send it?
Yeah. 10 minutes ago.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, my numbers. Okay, so.
So I'll kind of worked on that. Now is the time for us to talk about deliberations on maybe things that you, before we get into maybe dollar amounts. Any feedback you had on the presentations, things you really liked, things that maybe gave you pause, any feedback?
I think this year going into 2026, as a merchant at least, from that experience, it's really hard to balance two organizations wanting marketing funds. And then also, and I know I'm one of those organizations also wanting to do events. So I'm like, how much do you market an event? If you can't afford to do an event, how do you market something you don't have? So finding that balance with all of the funds being asked, yeah, I guess, you know.
Chicken and the egg.
Yeah, going back and forth.
There's gonna be a lot of that, right? And so, I've thrown a little stab at what that might look like, and that's what Brandy's kind of plugging in there. It gives us a jumping off point so that you guys can take that and play with those numbers from there, right? I think sometimes, it's been my experience, the hard part is the jumping off point. Cause then you just start playing with the numbers and how do we get it all to fit within that 130 limitation that we have. So again, when she throws that up on there, that is nothing more than a jumping off point.
So to Sam's point, and because I'm trying to clarify, because I'm new, our criteria is marketing and tourism operations. Under tourism operations, when I was asking some of the presenters, like what will you spend the money for? So those things didn't seem to fall into those categories. Is that your point? Like you need to spend, is tourism operations able to go into putting on an event?
So it gives you some flexibility in how you do that, but again, could you make a case to say that providing porta potties is tourism operation?
That's what I'm.
Possibly, but that's not the intent.
Like
of these
people don't come
laws,
to the
right?
porta potty.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I was thinking when she
if-
said that, porta potty.
if you're looking to have,
You gotta have.
so they're gonna do some paid marketing, for instance, the Mustangs, their program, that to me is some tourism operations. Yep, and the printer
Right,
can
but
go
that
towards.
makes sense. The porta potties didn't make sense to me, so, okay,
What about road closures, traffic control, is that a different level than porta potties?
So,
I mean, operations is pretty broad.
so yeah, the operation, the RCW states that you can use it for operations on an, you can, a category is, marketing and operations of an event that is designed to attract tourists. So if they're putting on an event and there's operational costs for that, it is an allowable use.
So the porta potties would be.
Correct, but it.
No, it's
not
your
really
discretion to decide, is that the best use of our funds? Or
Right.
does somebody else have an idea that you think be more impactful, right? That's our role here.
So just one quick question, like, tree lighting and fads, I know for sure. The city was working it too, the roads and things like that.
Not
Do you-
friends.
I thought they,
Adams pays for it all.
the parade,
After we cover that.
they were there at the parade, cause I.
So as far as the road closure, that's all on us. The city isn't a part of that road closure.
Okay, but they were there. They were across the street in front of City Hall. There was a truck. And 3 city workers
Are
there.
you sure?
How
At
did I
the,
have a picture of it
at the lighting or at the,
at the parade? I
which,
can show you the picture.
yeah.
And the reason why I just wonder if you guys have to pay the
We
city.
weren't built by
But
the
it's-
city for that. We have a
They
traffic
have to
control
put a
plan.
tree.
For Holiday on the Bay 2 years ago, the city has done it historically for 23 years, and 2 years ago, the mayor came and said, can Powa combined with us? So Powa takes on fundraising, so we raise about $35,000, which goes to the stage primarily, all of the expenses. And then the city takes over the part as far as road closures, they rent the porta potty, so that event is about
I
60,000.
just didn't know if you had.
No, but like if we won't, like, for example, Bay Street Goes Boo Bash this year, they wanted us to close down the road and it was gonna be about $7,000 to $12,000. That, cause it's a state highway, so we opted not to do that, where Fathoms does pay for that amount to close down for the parade, so yeah.
We're getting a good deal, but
There's a subsection of legacy events that the city has decided to continue to do the traffic mitigation on. And they're not looking to expand that.
Yeah.
You know, there are limitations to the resources that we have. I don't love that answer, but
I just didn't.
there's also reality, so.
No. They pick up the other part of the tab.
And then I just have one other quick thing, and it's, it doesn't weigh any bit with the numbers or all that, but. So Love Kitsap and Kitsap, what's the other one?
Visit Kitsap.
Visit Kitsap and the Chamber. So they're 3 different groups supposedly that bring, that people can reach out to and find out what's going on in that town. Or what the town offers. So I might just be old fashioned, but like I was just in Daytona Beach and I called the chamber to find out information that I needed. How many people reach out to like an off brand of, you know, and not, you know what I'm saying?
If I was
Depends on-
going somewhere, I would probably Google the
Yeah.
area rather than go to a chamber.
that's what I was just gonna say. So when we will, that's, they pay to pop up, and so when you Google what to do in Kitsap, you'll see Love Kitsap and you'll see, you know. the other one.
And
It
it
does look like it's push versus pull, they're out there, social media, pushing information versus.
I think Chamber's also more for supporting businesses. I don't know if it's as much for tourism specifically.
And we did Google also, but I was just saying that was kind of a good, because I was looking for one specific thing. You know, okay.
I think everybody looks for information different.
Yep.
Which is why it's important to collaborate.
Yeah, you can't pin it all one way.
But in a lot of ways, Love Kitsap and Visit Kitsap are very two
Yeah.
same-minded
Yes.
things. So, and that's where,
I came in
I-
struggling with that,
yeah,
honestly.
where do you put the, cause if you
Yeah.
divide it, it's just divided money again, instead of putting all your eggs kind of in one basket, hopefully it soars. For your investment.
Well, it's just like all the marketing materials, if you're paying different companies money to produce kind of the similar things, just worded differently, how effective is that and efficient with the money?
Okay,
Good.
go for it.
I would, in my mind, I'm coming back to what I said before, these Kitsap umbrella versus what portion of that is Puerto Rico. Because that's so big, I'm like, how, if you just put them in, if you just, you know, index them, they seem like they're 3x what they should be.
It's because they assume that they'll get cut down about it.
Maybe they are, but I'm looking at last year, right? Well, we know the chamber, because
Yep.
we said pretty clearly that there was some dreaming going on last year. So they asked for 44, got 30, which they didn't even spend all of it by the sounds of it. So, okay, is that money going to be added to the pot now?
So that's not how we budget now, unfortunately, but that will leave some dollars for following year when we go back and allocate, because that fund holds, because we can only use them for these.
They've asked for 30,000 this year, and I'm like, wow, I was very unconvinced by it.
So that's gonna start me here
And
before
then
we,
just a reminder real quick, so you guys can discuss all of the presentations and the applications as a whole. But limit discussions and questions asked of Fathoms, Port Orchard Waterfront Alliance, as well as
Theater.
Pat's on the
Is it
field.
complex? Yeah.
yeah, those two, just because they are in the room. And they are, for fairness of the other applicants, it's sometimes easy to ask clarifying questions of them. And I would ask you
And
not to.
I'm just gonna make it completely clear so everybody's, Pat's on the board of the Theater Foundation, so
Oh, okay.
he's got that as well, so just know that. So what we're trying to say is, don't ask questions to those folks clarifying, because the other folks aren't here to be able to ask those clarifying questions as well. My first, before we dig into some recommendations, would be, is there somebody we would not interested in funding at all? Now, and that's fine, because we're gonna have a discussion about it.
We're allowed to talk about everything, but we just can't ask questions.
You can't ask questions.
So,
You
okay.
can ask questions of the group.
honestly, to me, I mean, if you're asking for two, that almost seems like you could fund that other ways too. I mean, I know where's the threshold, where does it come in at, you know? So, I mean, for the Port Orchard Historic Theater, asking for two. It seems like a low number. I mean, that seems like if all I needed was $2,000, I could figure that out, you know what I mean? No. But then if you get to like the art clubs, we typically cut those back to two. So then you're getting, you know, so.
Historically, I think theater has in the past asked for 5,000, and so they have brought down their ask. Because they're getting, I feel like they're gauging better what they can do with the alley, how much they can spend with the alley. So to me, 2,000, I'm like, okay, from a couple of years ago, we did grant them 5. I'm like, okay. And I do appreciate what they do, because it's almost like putting an activation point within Port Orchard, and here in its merchant, nothing on that part of town. There's a farmer's market, but then there's like Gathered and other places have gathering spots, where at that part of town they don't. And that's pretty much the alley is what they can do, is activate down there. So
I think that they also made a point that during FIFA, that's an opportunity for what other events are going on, that'll be a supporting area.
And for events, if you can get multiple people doing things at the same time, it just creates a buzz everywhere.
Exactly.
So they can have some stuff going and popcorn, and I think that's an addition.
well, and like even just with Holiday on the Bay, it was huge because the road closed off, and I got a lot of complaints from merchants like, why did you close off the whole road? Well, I can't, but at least we were able to activate a point down here, so it did get people down there. So they just have a ways to go to build, but once it's done. So what was your question?
Is there any particular one you did not want to fund at all? So we can, that'll make life easier. But if not, that's okay. I just, let's have a conversation about that and gain some consensus before moving on to allocation.
Personally, I mean, I think I don't see any that I would cut.
Okay. Now for everyone's piece. All right, so next up is now just playing with the monies, right? And getting in here, and this is where you have to put on your thinking cap and say, I think I like this more than another. So I also went into, you know, as I said at the beginning, if you decide not to fund anybody, you decide not to fund anybody, that is what it is. So I just looked at historic asks and awards and what we've done, and then try to make that work within the 130 that we have. So that's the only rhyme or reason to this. There's no waiting above and beyond.
That's how you came to your.
Yeah, that's why I just have it. So again, this is just me creating a jumping off point, because generally we struggle with jumping off points because we want to say how much of what. But now when you can see that here in front of you, now you guys can chat and decide, no, I don't like that here. I'd like to allocate some more over here.
I will say my struggle is always visit Kitsap and love Kitsap. You know, I know that Fathoms, Powell, all these different people do different events. So I feel like there's a distinction between what those organizations do. But Visit Kitsap and Love Kitsap to me are very similar. Last year, I believe we gave Visit Kids at 5,000, the year before for photography. The year before, I don't think we gave them anything.
Zero.
And we gave them 5,000 last year to show us with 5,000 what you could do. I wish there would have been more presentation. I was really looking forward to that, like, you know, just to, you know, this was our investment. I'm like, great, here's some more of the investment. That's my struggle. I know Love Kids App we've never given money to, and I look at some of their numbers and I do struggle with $20,000 for FIFA when I feel like what Port Orchard has ahead for 2026 is so much bigger than 6 weeks. Like we said, 365 days encompassing what traffic could look like, what construction can look like, all of that good stuff. So I'm not saying not give Love Kids App anything, but I really wish I would have seen more in this year of what, even if it's only 5,000, that's why I'm saying you have Bremerton that has $400,000 to $1 million in LTAC. And we just have a lot less percentage, but we still would like to see some return for that.
I think that Fathoms is doing a tremendous job, and I think that things are getting more expensive. I like the geocache thing. I like the thinking outside the box. I personally would like to see more.
Am I allowed to
on
comment?
Fathoms.
No, you
Okay,
can't.
can I
I'm
comment?
pretending you're not sitting in the room.
Yeah, can I comment on the other thing? I'd like to kind of take.
Can't talk about that.
So, as far as we can go based on year-to-year results, and so I feel like, but since we haven't given to Love, I feel like Love is presenting professional. I feel like they've got good ideas. I think they can activate it. I'd like to see them. I mean, personally, I'd like to see them get 30 to 35 and bump Love down to 5 to 10. I don't know. I mean, Visit. And if Visit can show that they're improving and they're benefiting, then maybe they can grow, but I don't see that growth yet.
I was more impressed with the presentation of Love Kids App too.
I think we'll go on
Good or Love?
Love. Love is the Josh, and they're tied into the community. I mean, obviously they're countywide, but I feel like they've got a good feel from Port Orchard too.
Their stuff is very persuasive.
Yeah.
Well, and when you talk with the kid that she was talking. Yeah. And it's been, Visit Kids App historically has been around a long
They're
time.
lighter, yeah.
And when she talked about even sports fields, we don't really have any of those in
No,
South Kids App,
we
but
have
that's the
nothing.
hard thing,
No.
Paulsbo, Silverdale, Bremerton. And that's where I really want to know, what can you do for Port Orchard? Because we are limited. I know we're the kid with the limp, I get it, but what can you show that we can do? Because we do have good stuff. So I agree. I don't think we should give them nothing. I would just like to see.
More improvement from Port Orchard. And if we find out that Love Kids App isn't able to provide what they promised, we can adjust that next year. So.
Okay, so I heard a recommendation on these two.
Real quick comment, past committees have put stipulations on the funding on the allocation. For example, there was a comment about their ask is scope of activities and dollar amounts. You can say, you know, we're giving you a portion to focus on the city all year long versus, 6 weeks. So you can do that, or we want you to do digital marketing and not print marketing. So you have the flexibility to put caveats on the ask.
So the clerk's office creates a contract for each one of them on their deliverables, and so we can specify that. I don't think we did last year.
It's been a few years since we've done
We did any
that.
specifications, but that's a great point because I
I
thought
think
we
this
had
is the first year I have seen breakdown, like Love Kids App brought, they would like $6,000 for tourism data and analytics. They would like 20,000 for FIFA. I'm like, but I like how they break it down. Like, I love the trifold. It's something that we can be updated every year, which I also think would be a benefit to the chamber. And maybe chamber wouldn't have to hire somebody to come up with this trifold.
Exactly.
So chamber doesn't need as much money for marketing because they can
They
work
can use
together.
other pieces, and it's all coming from the same pot, so why give it to two people to do the same thing?
I agree.
So if there's a contract, is someone dispersing money?
To an extent.
to an extent. Yep, that's the clerk's office. So Brandy and her team take care of that, and there's not a ton of that because we don't get. I mean, if we really wanted to, and some communities get super granular and say you will do this, and this, I will tell you we'll be here for a bit if we do that for everybody, and we can. But that's just the work of the community committee and what they want to do. Okay, so let's start with those two because I think we're gaining some consensus there. And that just means, because if we put in a recommendation, doesn't mean we can't come back and change it. But I wanna get that articulated and put on the screen here.
What was Visit given last year?
5.
5.
I would propose we do them to 7,500 and give the balance to Love.
So we can set it that way and then come back and re-edit too, right? There, that's another 7,500, so, 32.5.
I heard, I think I heard Sam or somebody say that we should give more money to Fathoms
I
and
did, yeah.
reduce.
But I think they're just doing those two right
So
now.
I was just looking at that, so then we can,
Well, I
we're gonna
know,
fit
we
on
don't
it,
have
right?
to make
We
the
don't.
amount the same as your
That is
recommendation.
balance.
Exactly. We could say 5,000 and 7,000 and have that balance go up top, right?
Correct.
And I don't disagree with that. I think Fathoms is the law for this community and they have heard. Yeah, stop talking.
Well, and that's, for me, at least, that's what 2026 has to be about. I mean, FIFA unfortunately just falls in 2026, but I'm like, I don't like care about, because night markets already have 5,000 or 6,000 people. Or Fathoms fireworks already have, around the sound, probably 10,000 people watching. So I'm like, how do we keep everything going throughout the year? And not that FIFA is not important, I don't discredit that, but
Plus, it's gonna be a struggle year with construction, and it's gonna be important that we support the people that are building these events for our community. I think it's an especially important year.
I would probably suggest that Visit Kitsap get 5 and Love Kitsap get 30, and that remaining 5 go up to Fathoms, because the cost of everything is rising. I know there was talk about 2 fireworks shows, and we're just started laughing. We're like, we're hopefully gonna get through 1, but that one will be really great.
How does everyone feel about
I can agree with that.
30,000?
I think we would need to break down how that 30,000 is spent, though. I don't think 20,000 goes to FIFA.
Correct. And do we think that that's a big, I mean, that's a big number to give out to a first time person. Do we think that they've earned that right off the bat?
So I would like to kind of
Sorry.
take that, and they're technically not first time. They got all the way, it's incorporated as a nonprofit this past year. They were allowed, funded through a separate company, Serotonin. Last year, we allocated $15,000.
Okay, so it's, okay.
So when I asked the question of Love Kitsap about, I know it's our priorities too,
Yeah.
but theirs were kind of the FIFA and then also the data analytics and the trifold. Those were the 3. And if you take out 20,000 for FIFA, that's 12.5. And you give, so I'm wondering about the 30, if you're gonna hold them to.
Could we ask them to increase their budget for the trifold to then benefit the chamber?
From what I understand, it should be, and this is the other thing, as we've learned in the years past, sometimes there wasn't, for example, 5 years ago, Visit Kitsap could take pictures and we could give them $5,000, but we wouldn't have access to it. So last year was one of the first times that I understood that it changed. Maybe it changed before that, but I'm like, but if we're giving you money to help produce pictures, why can't the city use it, or the chamber, or POWA? So I think even with the 6,500 that they're asking, which I do appreciate the organization matching funds, I think that would be enough that they could even maybe give that print or that digital file to chamber, and they could also print some themselves. I think it would just be, I like also the year-round Port Orchard content creation, because to me, that's all of our events that are happening year-round, not just in those 6 weeks.
I'll also point out, if you take out the FIFA portion of Love Kitsap's, their ask is 31.
Okay.
Am I allowed to comment not about funds, but Fathoms working with Love Kitsap?
Let's just leave
Leave it alone,
leave
okay?
it be. Yeah.
I guess I just feel like with FIFA, and I could be wrong, and I really hope people are right, but I don't feel like we are going to be the first or second stop on the FIFA train. I think we will be maybe the 3rd or 4th.
Low.
So when we have such small LTAC funds, it's just important to me that those go where it'll make the biggest impact for the longest amount of time.
When you think about summer traffic.
We're already full.
What do we even have?
Yeah.
So,
We're trying to bring 10,000 people in here, there's 100.
And you guys are saying your guys' Airbnbs are already full
They're
during the
already
summer.
full, that's not gonna be an issue. I was saying.
We're just gonna cash it.
so the city did allocate an extra, what, 30,000
For it.
with an emphasis on FIFA?
Uh,
So would that come into play and maybe that particular 30,000 go to organizations that are looking, like the geocache thing, to me was a genius idea, you know, so I don't know, I heard that was an emphasis for the city.
It is. The city also direct funded in the budget for next year, $100,000 to be used in waterfront preparation. So we have.
Beautification, right?
Yeah, so we have some things where we're gonna add some additional picnic tables down along the waterfront, things like that, that will help facilitate more space to be activated during, specifically, so that we had it ready for FIFA related stuff, as well as supporting all day, every day type stuff as well. Some of that's going to be some artwork. Love Kitsap and Josh did a body of work. If you didn't see that presentation to city council, it was a really great presentation. We want to do some art along the waterfront too. And that's part of what that money's funding for, so.
No, I don't want to speak for you, but I think that we should find a balance for the FIFA too. I don't think we can ignore it. So we need to put some funds, but I think like Sam was saying, maybe not all that money towards it, but some, because we're not gonna get all the people here for FIFA. We'll get some. Plus permitted.
And Drake, whether we advertise or not.
So
Right,
give
the
them,
only thing that we could cause to have better advertising is heads and bits, which we already know it's not possible, so.
so give them 30,000 on the fencing around. What they would spend the money on.
Yeah, so
Wondering if we should maybe start with some of these lower ones too and get your number up there a little, you know, so that we can kind of see what's left to work with. You know, like,
The Mustang Club.
yeah, Mustang Club.
I wonder, the Mustang Club is a fun show. We used to come from out of town to go to it before we had a place in Port Orchard, and the Saints Car Club show is great too, but their ask was so much bigger, so I don't know that we should allocate based on a portion of what they ask for so much as being equitable car show to car show.
well, the Saints is more than double, triple the size of it too, so that helps with some of that cost.
I know.
I know as far as business, it's much more lucrative
Oh,
because with the
okay.
Mustang show, you have one person that likes one car. With the Saints, you have cars from 80s to whenever. So it's just a much larger demographic of people that they're reaching.
So you're seeing that balance being equitable based on what they're bringing in as far as.
I would even say the Saints more.
Way more, okay.
Yeah, because the Mustang Club also, you see 6 Shelby's in a row. It's.
I would say to be fair.
I was wondering why it wasn't part of the
I'm just.
car show to cruise.
But the Mustang, they have a pretty loyal following too, though, so they'll get some people that come in.
Cars.
It is,
So,
as long as it's not new. But
Is there a consensus?
I think 2000 is great for the Mustang Club.
I agree.
Uh,
I don't know, I mean, so this isn't, maybe, I feel like if we give the historic fund the 2,000 that they're asking for, I think that's not fair to the other people that we cut back. I don't know if we cut back it halfway, but maybe 500, because they're not asking for a lot, but I think, you know, that we could, if we're gonna
Everybody
cut,
getting cut.
yeah, I think it's not as fair just to let them go through.
You think that for Mustangs too, or?
I'm okay with the Mustangs and the Saints, I think that's good for both of them.
The thing I do appreciate about the Saints, it's an activated event that no merchant has to put on. Cause that's what it's a really well done event that I don't have to do anything. I just open my doors. Where obviously a lot of events we do, we have to work hard. So, and they do a great
I
job.
love the cars on the street.
Yeah. So should we put that extra 500 towards the Saints? No?
Just leave it.
I think we're gonna leave it at 5,000.
Oh, I thought
Sorry.
I heard it, yes, okay, I heard a no.
So where are we?
What did they get before the Saints?
What did they get last year?
Yeah, I was looking at your chair, not their requested. I'm sorry about that.
They received
They got
6.
6 last year.
I wouldn't go less
Requested
than
10
what they
and
got
got
last
6.
year.
Yeah, I agree.
Not go less than what they got. They really have dedicated themselves to this community.
What were you saying?
I would give them at least 6 also.
Yeah.
And they also share their money with other people too, and other groups. I think they're a great club.
I do too.
And depending on.
Can we put them at 7 and just see if we have little, only because I know expenses of events go up. I'm like, even 6,000 is still gonna be short from what they had last year. But I mean, we can see, dabble with other numbers.
And they're asking, I think that's great I agree, to just try it there.
And then I do have down here is what's remaining.
And I put Power at pretty close to their full ask, and I'm just gonna put this out there on behalf of the city. Don't get a say in this, but I'm telling you, that, the city sees all the value that Power brings, and the leverage that the city is now able to do. I will tell you, we allocated that amount of money every year just to the tree lighting in our budget, and to offload that to an organization, and they've really just knocked it out of the park.
They do also marketing too, all the handouts and flyers. I mean, so it's not just events, it's marketing, it's organization.
I wanted to make sure that you guys understood that, well, I allocated everywhere else except for that one there, so.
I agree with the Powell one, but I also think that Satham's equally does, a lot as well. I personally would like to see that one up more too. But I agree that the Waterfront Alliance needs to be there. Absolutely critical to downtown Port Richard.
Can we scroll, Randy, real quick, what we gave them last year?
To Power,
To Powa and to Fathoms.
last year they were allocated, 25. And Fathoms was 28.
Because it's in a different category, you guys split it up previous
Gotcha.
years.
Oh,
and
yeah,
The
yeah.
rest of them hit
So
bid.
it's 2.
Oh, wait, no, it's 34, sorry. And received 25.
And last year, I know there was some extra money from because one of the boats wasn't able to come in, so that got split up.
So they
Yes.
just threw it.
The historical, yeah.
Reallocation.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to stay neutral.
So we have 54,000.
And that includes.
So there's 2 ways we can go about that, because Sam can't participate in the Power conversation. So we can either decide as a group what we want to allocate the Power, or we can move on to the chamber and see based off of that, and then
I think plug the number in for Powell for now. See where we-
at 30?
Yep.
Okay. Only 24.5.
I feel like that's fair for the chamber in the sense, I don't know, I mean, they're great for the businesses. I don't know if they need the extra money for the flyers and whatnot, if somebody else can provide that and then they can utilize that, that takes it off their hands. That's my thoughts.
It's hard to tell if they left money on the table, what's gonna happen this year. I didn't hear a lot of robust plans. That's just kind of where. I don't know.
I think it'll be a learning year.
So I just think we think where do our dollars best suit for knowing what 2026 looks like for us.
What if we cut their offer to say 15 or 20 and move the rest up to
I'd like to see what that looks like.
and then give Waterfront Alliance what they asked for.
The full 31,729.
It looked like
I like that specific number. I love the specific number of that.
not 730.
Where we got that number.
So we're over.
Nope, so you got remaining balance.
Make it 31,700, what, make it so it's an even number at the end, get rid of that 71.
Oh, well, we don't.
We need one more desk.
Oh,
Yeah, well, this is-
They would, yeah, that would be.
We give just a little bit more to chamber. What have we historically given them? I think this is the
I don't
lowest.
wanna cut them out, yeah.
But they did say that they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't like they were gonna-
Well, they had a big upset last year, so I don't think you can. really count
Base it on that.
And
Yeah,
they said they wanted to upgrade their marketing material, which would be good.
yeah, that would be helpful.
And if we could,
Specify that the money would go towards their shirts or the materials.
Or a great QR, I mean, like she was saying, people calling, there should, like a guest book, it should just be a digital QR guest book, which is so inexpensive. People, oh yeah, QR codes are so cheap now.
and if they were planning on like, say, 6,500 for tourism brochures, not just businesses, that can be used out of the funds for Love Kids app. So then they just don't have to do that, so it's one less thing they have to worry about, they can focus on the other stuff.
They have 2 events as well. They've got the Seagull Calling, which is very
That would be,
popular.
and that's a
the
big one
cornhole-
too.
What was the second one?
Cornhole
Oh, I didn't.
tournament.
Do you think they can pull it off?
Yeah,
Those
they
are
did
popular
one.
events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are popular.
I don't know if Cornhole
I'm
gets
not
as many
judging, I
heads
just
of
don't know.
bids, but I
She
think
looks
Seagull.
No.
She's new at this.
Yeah,
But yeah, the Seagull, I really feel like draws people and it is again, one of those foundational cornerstone things of Port Orchard.
Yes, it is.
Cornhole,
Traditional.
yeah, it's what
Seagull
people.
Calling's traditional.
Yeah, Seagull
Even
made it on the
news.
shit show.
Yeah.
Like years ago.
Years ago. Actually, I chaired that year, so thank you for saying that. I did get John Curley here.
No, this was on like.
Oh, the Tonight Show.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's silly, yeah, funny.
Yep.
Cool. So where are we
Sure.
at?
Yeah, so last year they asked for, or this year, 2025, they asked for approximately 35,000. And they received a little over 30,000. Adding because they split it into 2 for events and operations. And then 2024, they asked for close to 40 and got a little over 30.
And how much was used? Do we have that number?
I know in the past, I can tell you it was 100%, 99% used. So this year I know that.
Like you say, our slightly upset. Right. Okay.
So what was the
So you have a balance
Uh,
of, I think, 24. 35.
So they got 25 last year.
We give the remaining 35 to them?
So bump into 18.5. I can excel.
I don't know if this is a relevant comment, but I've heard somebody recently say that wasn't a function, like, that's a chamber function, or that's a POW function, and I feel like all the different organizations have worked together to be a group function, but instead of just giving it pieces to them, so I think that other groups are also helping with the businesses, and so I know it sucks to have a lower amount, but I think it's.
I think we're way much better as a community about not being siloed. And I think we'll just continue to encourage breaking down of silos, so.
Is there any way that we could, because we know it's a guarantee, to put the Saints up to their 10, their ask, and take it out of Love Kids App?
What that looks like.
And what was their name last year?
Serotonin.
What, and Serotonin was at 15 last year?
I think that too.
And they got 10.
That's a big bump. That's a big bump.
The only other thing I would ask is, can we bump the Saints to 9,500 and put that extra 500 to the Mustangs?
I put that too.
Give the Mustangs a little
Yeah,
bit.
get them a little bit more too. And hopefully they can get that back up.
Ryan keeps going to your chair recommendation and not the original ask.
I know that we've got it.
I just struggle with visit and love, cause I'm just like having the exact same thing and wondering where you're gonna place your dollars.
I think Love, Visit, and Chamber are all pretty similar.
This is true. For what we do for them, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Love is showing they have the energy and they've got a plan to execute, and I think Visit needs to work on that some more, because we did ask them, I mean, I wasn't part of the last committee, but they were asked to kind of do some more, and I don't see it
Well, that's my concern, is we did give them $5,000.
last year, okay?
And I can't say I haven't checked every Love Kids app marketing material up. I don't remember seeing hardly anything of Port Orchard,
So,
but
For
maybe
Love?
there is. For Visit Kids,
Visit.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
so to go back to, I heard a couple people say earlier that their concern is all this Kids App stuff and not Port Orchard. South Kids App Chamber is Port Orchard. Visit Kids App and Love Kids App are more countywide, right? So, I don't know, I'm just throwing that
Tourism inside the chambers
conversation out there too.
functions, are they advertised, are they for tourism too?
I just didn't think that presentation kind of.
When you say it's a guest book, it really scares me.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, what's your digital?
Yeah.
Cause and I'm old, but everything is online now and everything is a QR code or everything's like a link, like you said. People in the past would call and say, hey, where's an Airbnb to the chamber? They don't need that now. They do Airbnb, they do Expedia. Like, I hate, a lot of these organizations are less and less needed, but I still think they're needed for sure. But that's probably not one function the chamber has anymore. If I was going to Long Beach, California, I would just Google Expedia or Airbnbs. So that's, yeah. And again, for me, Love Kids App and Visit Kids App is more about marketing what we are going to be doing this year. And not even just, what I did appreciate about Love Kids App is there's pictures of just pizza, there's pictures of the parks, it's not just an event. We need more than, because there's not an event every day.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Cities, that's what they see.
But the 5,000 that was given to Visit Kids App for photography, we didn't really see what that.
Yeah, it's just,
I was gonna think irony of them spending last year's money on pictures. Gives that, and making the pictures for free. Digital assets, now they've already done it, so it's like, okay, now we wanna activate some marketing using the pictures we took. And we're gonna tell, people we're not gonna have enough money.
so why don't we just give this Kids App, nothing? Give it to Love Kids App if you think they're better. I mean, if that's.
Well, my concern is and I don't know, because I don't know, but Josh said something about that they are the most highly funded now organization.
Sure.
And which makes me think you can only spread your money so thin and only get so much. So if all of your money's in one pot, I do love their energy and I did love his presentation. I know him, but stepping back from that. And when I am on social media or when I'm doing marketing for my shops, I see Love Kids App constantly and I see Port Orchard constantly, which I see a lot of Bainbridge, which I get because there's so much more to offer, but I still see a lot of Port Orchard. So I wouldn't disagree with you. And again, the thing is, if we even allocate $1, somebody on council could say, well, let's give them $10,000 if you owe. So.
I think Visit Kids App makes some tough love.
You think zero? From the $40,000 off to a $5,000 right now, that's a pretty.
No, that's
That's
exactly.
But do you think it should be zero?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm not, I don't have a feeling about it.
In the past, and I don't know, Brandy, I could be wrong. Historically, I feel like we've given them like $20,000-$30,000. And last year was one of the lowest years, and there was some change in the organization. So 5,000 is what we gave them last year. My concern is I didn't see, and we have such limited funds. I'm just a penny pincher this year. But I'm like, even with $5,000, could that go more towards the brochures or marketing Port Orchard year round? Visiting all of our events that we have from the farmers markets to everything else.
Are you proposing zero?
We'll be hated,
I
but
can,
yes.
I can.
We'll be hated together.
Thank you.
I can be persuaded to that. I think that Love Kit Sap showed a lot of promise for what we need. And that is those cute pictures of the pizza and, you know, your coffee shop and whatever, because our town could look like a home.
Oh, yeah, it should be.
It should be, and those are the kind of things that get us there.
And that's very much the kind of job, not the organization. Who's gonna do that? It's just him, right?
Do we know what the operating cost was for Visit Kids app? Did they, I can't get it to load over the Wi-Fi.
Years ago, when I was on the board, it was like 600,000, and every year it's come down.
Cause I mean, we're putting our eggs in the Love Kids app, and I hate to see it, you know, as Hurt Visit, if Love can't produce, then, and Visit's gone, then where are we? But I think Love has shown a good job too, so.
Well, and Visit Kids that does not get at all a portion of our LTAC. They usually typically get it from the county. From what I understand, that's not what's happened this year. It's gone to Love. And if I'm just thinking, I'm very much a community person, we all know this, but thinking business wise, a return on investment, I would think $5,000 more if I'm looking at Love Kids App's presentation. Year-round Port Orchard, they had 10,000 with matching of 2,500. They had 8,500 on the Seattle ferries. Tourism data and analytic perform. I like that, but I also, I don't know.
So I have 3 of 6 right down the middle. I have not heard from the other 3 of you. Yay or nay at moving.
The bold move, if you wanna do 0 for Visit Kids app, that's a very strong message. Do I think it's wrong? Necessarily, but
Do we lower it to 2,500 just to say we really want to see next year you come back with something and then able to adjust?
It's like we're betting on a different horse this year.
or are they gonna say, we asked for 40, you gave us 2,500, we're still not gonna really do anything? Do you know what I mean?
If they're not,
She mentioned a really big number. I feel like our 33 like is it 300 million or 3 million in like.
But they're gonna use it to build out the website, because
Well, I
they've
mean,
been
for what they
focusing on
brought
Bay
in.
Bridge and Bremerton.
But we're only, like we've all said, the hotels and the Airbnbs in Port Orchard are pretty much full. So we can't really bring more heads and beds, I guess, during for the FIFA time. So does it make sense to provide both so much?
if we put 0 there, you had said earlier something about it has to come back, or can we just not,
So
will it come back?
we've given 0 before,
Okay.
right? So the only caveat I said about that is if you put 0, that is the one thing the council cannot change. Because they were unfunded out of this recommendation, so they cannot change any of the funding recommendation.
So
For somebody who's given 0 versus somebody who's given some money, they can rearrange this.
So if we said 2,500, they could say, oh, they asked 40, we're gonna rearrange and take it out of.
But technically, they could say, I'm gonna give them 40 and
And
completely erase somebody
if
else.
you want to
down
keep
to a
those
dollar,
funds
but-
available for the other groups, then if you do a 0, that zeros that out and it has to be dispersed to other people.
I feel like if there is a message to send, it's a better message at 0 than it is at 20.
Risk free, because of council.
But I think.
And maybe we don't want to send a message, but it sounds like they need a message.
And I think if you look at the 2 presentations, both kind of doing the same thing, one was knocked out of the park and one was not.
So
One's kind of current and relevant, and the other is kind of still.
One is fresh and full of energy and ready to go.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
Are we there?
Oh, I had forgotten about the list, because I think if I'm a bet man, it's all but certain that council is gonna object to 2,500. Which means we're guaranteeing ourselves that they're gonna get more when council gets hold of it, so it's like, okay, we'll take that out of their hands.
For me this year as a merchant, not even as power or anything, I'm like, we need all of our eggs, every penny we have going very strategically. That's why I'm like, yes, Fathoms, I know what they do, it's been proven.
Good point, Sam. You can't just try to appease everybody.
That's hard for me.
No, but you're right. You have to make hard decisions.
Especially this year, and even with chamber not giving them as much,
Set that too.
but.
And that might get adjusted once it gets to the council too. But I'm okay with I agree with the visit kids that thing. That's-
So
Did
we
we-
have $130,000.
Did we move that into the?
You moved it into love, yeah. Yep.
So
Would
then-
it be, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, my only question was gonna be, and is this something that you can work out, John, that you kind of specify, we're giving you 32,000, but 20,000 can't go to FIFA, like.
For sure, I think we will definitely deliver that message. I'm deliberately trying to stay out, you don't know how hard, I'm sure Brandon can tell you, I speak almost on every topic at council, so this is really tough for me to bite my tongue. But there are reasons that I have to in some of these, because I have virtually a connection to most every organization on here, but I just want to call out, I know that this group has said that they struggle with the visit and the love. When we talk about marketing, right, we talk about, I know at the dealership, we talk about a VSL, a video sales letter, right? So you still have to have things that aren't necessarily going directly towards this event or that event, that it is, for lack of better terminology, evergreen marketing that just works for your community. So there are images, videos and things out there that are out there that basically your silent sales. And that's what these DMOs do. And so it's super important to give them assets. So I think we've done a good job of balancing where you're going. So.
Well, and if we're investing so much money into Fathoms and like Powa, they're doing events, then we need events to be able to market, but we also just need to market and just market Port Orchard in all of its beauty.
Build brand.
Okay. We have a slate of recommendations. Everybody feel good? I get the little head nod before I take the official vote. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, so the committee recommendation that we have on the screen here, I hear a motion out of this committee to send that to City Council for consideration for 2026 funding allocation.
Second that.
I'm hearing a motion.
So you
John?
gotta say.
Okay.
Oh. So moved.
So moved. I'm looking for a second. We
Okay.
have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. The recommendation will move forward. Dump should be on the first.
It'll be I plan to bring it before the council, the first meeting in January.
First meeting in January.
It'll be on there and for them to consider.
When that gets put on, I'll have Brandy send out a notice to this group. We'd love for you to come to that meeting that night if you'd like. We will make it the first thing on that agenda, hopefully for a business item. It won't be the absolute first thing, but if we can add that so that I don't have you here all night either, depending on what else is on there. Because I know we'll have committee assignments and things like that, but if we can do that ahead of time.
In the past, we've had it as a presentation that the committee presents to the council to kind of give them the understanding of what the deliberation process was. We've also done it where a member or two speaks under citizen comments before they take the vote on the business item. So it's up to the committee how they want to present to the council formally or informally or not at all.
Do we want to give them a bit of our reasoning just so they take that into account?
And the beauty of it in today's time is that this is also recorded,
Yeah.
so they have the ability to watch and hear your deliberations. So kind of, offsets that formal presentation need, but it's up to the committee.
If you guys are willing to help with that, I don't mind doing a quick presentation to the committee if nobody else wants to. Because I think.
Well, I think it's good if they do. I feel like somebody that's not connected to
Alright,
anything.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I just like a neutral, no skin in the game. I just got awarded.
What do you guys think? Be helpful? Business owner? Or how we came to?
I think a business owner lodging, I think would be.
If you want to, I think it would be great. I feel pretty confident. I think they'll accept our recommendations. I think that you guys did some really great deliberations. There's only so much money. I think you're thoughtful in it. I don't know that it'll sway them or not sway them. We did not have a presentation last year
It gives them good information of like our community.
of what we're doing. That's,
We know
but again,
2026.
we're asking for additional time out of your all's schedule, so
I think
on
just
a
be
Tuesday
sure
night.
This was our mission, this was our thought, because how many, you don't always get to go back and watch the video, so just adds, like Josh would do, just give a little bit of warm feelings.
It's up to the committee.
And you don't have to make that decision now,
Yeah,
so.
Okay.
After the new year, think about it, just let me know, I'll reach out to you guys prior to.
And you get your kind of players when you're out of it.
Okay, well, I want to thank you all for serving your neighborhood. It really does make a difference. It can sometimes be a struggle to find folks because the limitations that we have that should be on this committee. I hope you will think about serving again next year. I hope that this is our last meeting. I know, but I feel pretty confident with it. So unless there's anything else, we go to the order.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, that definitely gets helpful.
And I have Janine on behind the scenes, she's doing the recording.
Yeah,
She can hear
the other half of the clerk's office, they're about 3/3, but there's still half. So it is 12:05. We will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.